Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another episode of In Depth with David. A little bit of a hiatus from the last one with Carter, but not as bad as it's been in the past, where I've gone into hiatus and hiding for months at a time. This is only a 12-day hiatus since our last podcast, but we are back, and we are back with the one and the only Sean as well. Sean is making his return to the podcast. This is the first time all three of us have seen each other in over 3 months, which is crazy.
3 months. 3 months.
For sure.
3 months too long. It
Getting
feels like
old.
it's crazy. I aged 40 years. Something
Sean's
like
room
that.
is so much less colorful than it was last time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The time winds down. It'll be getting back up to speed momentarily.
So yeah, we're all back. The big three, as I said in the title, is all in the same room, virtually at least, and we're going to be doing a podcast for you guys tonight. So you can already tell by the name tags, so all of our names. I'm David, host of this podcast, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Carter and my cousin Sean. How are you both doing tonight?
Wonderful.
Doing
Wonderful.
great. Marvelous.
So, yeah, before we go any farther, like, how have you guys been lately? What's been going on? Just give the viewers an update on your life without getting too personal, I guess.
Sean, you want to go first?
Sure. Since like December, probably like the last time I did the little podcast with the squad here. I got mono, and then I got COVID, and since then, just trying to stay healthy. Getting sick all the time, not fun. I wouldn't recommend getting mono. You get tired. It definitely fixed my sleeping situation, that's for sure. I feel like I sleep way better, but there's just other aspects of it that aren't really that fun. I'm taking vitamins now and stuff like that. So just really trying to get healthy and stay healthy really. But other than that, I took a break from work for a certain amount of time and time off from the gym as well, and that kind of stunk. But other than that, that's really what I've been up to. I'm just trying to stay healthy and stay good. I got a big trip coming up. Bounce back, no doubt. I'm trying to stay healthy for my trip in June. I got a cruise trip in June, so I'm just trying to stay healthy for that and be good. But other than that, don't share drinks with people, and that's really it. I don't know. It's called the kissing disease, but
Ooh.
I don't know. You just got to be careful.
Sean, keep your lips off of me.
Right. And it's no it's no joke, mono. Like, I remember a quarterback in the Jets. Like, I've never had mono, but I know the quarterback in the Jets a few years ago, Sam Darnold. Like, he had a reaction. Like, he had mono, and he talked about like how everyone was like laughing at him and stuff. But it's no laughing matter. And he described it like you just said, where like you're just super tired all the time when you have mono.
Yeah.
Doesn't it last like when's like the longest it can last? Like, I heard it lasts like up to like 3 months for some people.
So initially, I think like the actual like real like most like aware, like I don't know, like the most effects that like pop out like at first is within like 6 weeks. So like for the first 6 weeks from like your first like time of feeling it, that's when you're like more susceptible to like whether it's like fevers, like throwing up, like flu-like symptoms like that. But then after, it really just turns into like tiredness, and your immune system's kind of like lowered, from what I understand. So for me, like I went through like the first 2 weeks of like being straight sick, like throwing up, having headaches and crap like that. I thought I had like COVID and all that. And then just turned into like tiredness and everything like that. I'd be sleeping like a rock. Like I go to bed at like 10 o'clock. I'd wake up at like 12:30 the next day. And since I've been good, I don't know, I get a lot of like canker sores in my mouth and stuff like that. And I think that's because from like what I've heard from like the doctors is that since like my body's like immune system's down, like it's stressed out, and when your body's stressed out, it can break out in like ulcers or like hives. Like for some people it might be like rashes and stuff like that because their body's under stress. But for me, the way my body reacts is that it blows up in like canker sores like inside my mouth. So I went over my mom's house the other day and my mouth was killing me, and I had I lifted like my gums and stuff like that, and I had my mom count how many cankers I had in my mouth, and I had 5.
Oh
So
god.
try 5 cankers. I'm doing much better now. I've been ripping vitamins, and I think they're helping, honestly. But I've been getting them in my throat and like my tongue, like everywhere. So
Jesus.
I'm like, other than that, like I am tired, but I can deal with the tiredness. Like at the end of the day, like we're all tired. You know what I mean? So I can't really complain about that. It's more like the mouth pain. But
Yeah,
that's really it. I think honestly that like once the 6 weeks is over, it's like a 2 to 6 month like recovery time from what I
Damn.
researched. So technically your immune system could be down for like that long, but it just depends on the person.
So you got mono and then COVID back to back, or were you basically dealing with both of those illnesses at the same time?
Technically at the same time. So I got mono like mid-December, and then once my 6 week period was like done, I think that was like end of January. And then I think I was like back to work, back to like normal for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I think either the second or third week, just I had one night, it was like Friday night, I just couldn't sleep. Like I must have woken up like a dozen times. Like I woke up like every 40 minutes. It was crazy. And then I woke up the next day and I just felt awful, and I ended up testing for COVID, and then I had COVID, and then just like ran through for like a week and stuff like that, and took like another week off of work, and then like took like a month off of the gym because I felt like the gym might have been like the area that like I'd be like most like susceptible to like getting like crap, so I just had to take a break, sadly. So I had mono, and then a couple weeks where like I was like decent, like I was okay, and then I got COVID. So a little couple weeks stretch.
Wow. And are you experiencing like any long COVID symptoms, like taste? But I know people say like they're like they lose taste and things, or like their sense of smell. Like, do you feel like you're fully recovered from COVID?
Yeah, I think I've had it 3 times. I had it like in February of 2020. Like I think like I got sick wicked bad during that time period, but like there weren't any tests for it then. So I think I got it then, and then I got it back in like December of 2021. So realistically only 2 times I've had it, but possibly 3. But yeah, I fared well through each one of them. Thankfully nothing like crazy, because I heard that stuff's no joke, like the taste and smell. Oh, no thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry you went through all that, but like, how long would you say you've gone back in like a normal schedule? Like, has it been a few weeks now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I've been back on a normal schedule for like a while. When I first had mono, like I was only doing like 1 to 5 shifts, like literally 4-hour shifts, so I could sleep like in the morning.
Yeah.
And then that's really it. I got back to like the normal 40-hour week, like 8 to 5, kind of like that. But yeah, I can't say like seriously, like with like mouth pain, and then just like whether it's like tiredness or something, like I really have only had like 2 weeks of like normalcy like since like December. Like it's like crazy. Like I'm not trying to sound like dramatic, but like whether it's like I've had like a canker, or like I've been tired, or I've had a headache, like sore throat, something like that, like I've only had like a combined like 10 to 14 days where like I have just been like pain free, like issue free, like since December. It's crazy. But now it gives me a new like perspective on like life and stuff like that. It's just like at the end of the day, like, you can, for me, like I like buying sweatshirts and stuff like that. For me, like I can have like all the sweatshirts in the world. I can, your pockets could be fat, this and that. But if your health's not good, then you know what I mean? It just doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. So like health is like wicked important to me now. Like I'm taking vitamins. I'm repping like a new type of water and stuff.
Kids got the glass bottles of water now.
Yeah. So like I've just been trying to do like little things. I don't eat the healthiest, so I'm trying to like just like help with that. So it's just like it gave me a different perspective on like everything. Like I don't know. At the end of the day, if your health's not good, then
nice
stuff stinks. So I mean Oh man, this
He's
kid's
got the
unreal.
whole snack cabinet behind his monitor.
So yeah, health is like a big thing for me now. I just try to focus on like my health and try to like do what I can to like be better and all that crap. So it definitely shines some light on how I can, you know, this kid's unreal. How I can be like better with like what I do and everything. But it's not a bad thing really. You know, it's just a lesson learned. And you just try to like continue like moving.
And I'll even go one step further and say physical health is one of the most important things someone can have in their life, and also mental health. And I feel like those two things, and I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like those two things can go hand in hand when you're having a lot of physical problems with your health, like you just were. Your mental health probably had to be very challenging at times, I'm sure, like being quarantined for a bit and like not being able to do the things that you enjoy as well.
Yeah. For me, I would say if this was like 2 years ago, then I'd probably be in like a tough spot. Like I was like kind of going through like a lot of stuff like 2 years ago, but after like going through that stretch, like I just have like a much better head on my shoulders and stuff like that. So it helps that like I do have like a good support system, and I got like a girlfriend and stuff who's like very helpful, as well as like my parents always like checking in and stuff like that. So I mean, that's good. Like with that, like I've had a good head on my shoulders. Like I don't know, like I could definitely see like myself like any person going through like what I went through with like mono and like being sick for like so long, just like constant like just like, you know, negative stuff just like nonstop like happening. I could see like how it could like affect like me like mentally, but thankfully I've been good. You just gotta like look forward to like the future and stuff like that. But I mean, for me, like I look forward to like sleeping in and getting like a good night of sleep. And
Facts.
Me too.
I bought Red Dead 2 again, so I was just ripping that the whole time, like the story
Yeehaw.
mode. So yeah, so yeehaw. So I don't know. I made like my time the best I could with like what I was dealt. So
You
I
do any
can't really
Minecraft worlds in that time?
I'm waiting on a big craft. I'm saving like my Minecraft like grind for all
Did
that.
I think I saw a video of you playing with Trump and Biden. You guys playing Minecraft. You, Trump, Biden,
Yeah,
and Obama.
me, Trump, Biden, Abraham Lincoln was also there.
Elon.
It's a pretty solid squad, to be
Yeah.
honest.
But
Fish
I'm
farm.
happy to hear that you're doing better. It seems like it's been a rough few months for you, at least physically. But like you said,
Definitely.
I like the optimistic perspective you had where, you know, you just kind of embodied the phrase, when life gives you lemons, you just try and make lemonade. And it seems like that's what you did.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get down and out. There's no point. You know,
Yeah.
stuff's already crappy as it is, and someone has it worse than you. So you just have to like look at it from that perspective.
So Carter, how have you been lately since I last talked to you?
Carter's turn.
Oh, my turn here. I've been pretty good. I was I think the last time we talked, well, it was only like 2 weeks ago. So not too much has changed. I had like a couple exams. Some went well, some did not go well, but we're gonna keep pushing.
Did you study as hard as you could for all of them? Be honest, we
We
don't
pick and
judge.
choose our
I can't
battles,
judge.
Davy Jones.
Right.
We pick and choose our battles. So maybe one of them I did, maybe one of them I didn't. But and then the computer kind of started acting up again. But I mean, that's just a given. That's a given. So not much, but I've been trying to stream a little more, and I've been I'm kind of taking a whole turn on my sleeping schedule now, and I'm back to the 5 a.m. Davy Jones. I fell asleep 5 a.m. 3 nights in a row. It's not getting good.
Oh,
It's not getting good.
I thought you meant
Wait.
waking up at 5 a.m.
No. I've been falling asleep at 5 a.m. because I've been streaming all night.
I mean, you're making good
Dang.
use of your time because, like you said, you only have classes 2 days a week, so you can get
Yeah.
away with that.
So I can
Facts.
technically, but oof. Oof.
Yeah, do it now while you can, before you start like the big boy job and everything. So
That's
like you're
true.
just living, having fun,
That's
So
right.
true. I might as well.
I don't know. That's how I look at it. It's definitely a crazy schedule, but
The
kids
graveyard
living.
shift.
Right, and I mean, these next few months, like you might as well live it up because your life's going to change forever. Like I know you have a little bit more school left, Carter, but
Yeah.
like you'll be going to school next year as well. But
Mhm.
the people you're spending time with now, I would say a good portion of them probably aren't going to be at school with you next year. Is that accurate?
Very accurate. Very accurate.
So live it up with them, live it up with yourself, and like you're being productive. And
That's
there's,
true. I've been playing a
nothing.
lot of Mario. A lot of
Yeah.
Mario lately.
Are you going to see the Mario movie? I just saw a preview for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it for sure. Are you guys seeing it?
I should. You know what? I should go see it. Why not? It's
I'll
like
probably
That is
catch
Mario.
it.
Come on.
Some people are saying that like Mario and like Nintendo, like they're gonna like be like the next Marvel and come out with like movies for like every character and
hope
stuff
that'd be a
like
little
that.
cringy, but
Yeah, but I mean, I could see where people like are thinking that. Like, what if they had a movie for like each Mario character, like Mario, obviously, then like Bowser, like Donkey Kong, like their origin, like story, all that crap. I mean, I could see it like drawing an audience for sure. You know?
Yeah.
you could have a Princess Peach movie where it's like there's a love triangle like between Bowser, Mario, and Luigi for her heart.
Davy
facts,
Jones
yeah.
just jumped right to the love story.
Yeah, that's just compelling.
Touches his heart.
Right, it's just compelling television. If there's like a love interest and like they like fight to the death for her heart and stuff like that.
Oh.
Facto.
That kind of got a little weird, but yeah, no, I might see it because I saw it and my first reaction was this is going to be stupid, but like maybe it's one of those movies where it's just so stupid you kind of have to see it. Pixels. I saw this movie.
It's like Cocaine Bear.
Oh.
This movie, it was based on Pac-Man. That was a good movie. I saw that with my neighbor, or not my ex-neighbor at the time.
Yeah,
that was a
I
good
didn't see
movie.
that one.
Yeah, it was corny, but like these video game movies are going to be corny, and I'm the
Yeah.
king of corny myself. I eat corn every day, pretty much. So,
What about Wreck-It Ralph? Do you consider that corny?
if I saw it now, yes, but when I was a 12 or 13-year-old kid,
10
it
out
was
of
pretty.
10.
It was pretty funny, and Wreck-It Ralph was those were entertaining movies. Is there two of them? I think.
I think so. I don't think I got to the second one, but the first
Me
one
neither.
was fire.
Yeah,
But Sean mentioned
I've never
Cocaine
seen it.
Bear. Sean, you saw that one?
Yeah, I saw that. It was goofy.
Same, dude. That one was good.
never saw that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It
And that
just came
lady,
out.
when that lady fell out of the ambulance and just like absolutely ate the ground on that stretcher, that was crazy. Like
Dude.
that movie is way like much gorier than like what I like had originally like thought it was gonna be. Like it was like nuts. Like there was like so much like blood and crap. I was like, holy moly.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. Oh, is that the second one?
That might be.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Anything else going on though, Carter? Like, did you take your child to the doctor?
Did I take my child to the doctor?
Did you take?
I
Did you
got
take
that.
your?
Are
Did
you
take your,
doxing me right now, Davey?
Did you take your computer to the shop again? I remember you did that a couple weeks ago. Sorry, that's a terrible analogy.
Yo, I think in the last 2 weeks, no, because I gave up on them. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to figure it out. And it only
Yeah, guy
happens
bones. Yeah.
yeah, it only happens once every like so often. It kind of happened like 4 times yesterday, but usually it's every so often. So I'm not married.
But what
But-
you would Carter would also be saying that if he was married.
I mean, who knows? There's no rings on my finger.
Neither on Chris Paul's. Anyways,
CP got astray.
yeah, that dirty player can catch every stray from me. I don't care.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
He can come after me with all the State Farm attack ads. No, I'm I'm just
Shut up,
kidding.
Cliff.
So I'm sorry I cut you off, but so you just kind of given up and like are you think you're going to try and take matters into your own hands? You're just going to kind of ride the wave.
I mean, like the crashes that it's doing now is like different than it was like before. So I'm thinking it's just like these problems can kind of be solved. And I got some smart friends in the computer field, and I've been asking my dad to ask all his coworkers to help me out. And to be honest, they don't really give great advice. I'm not getting great advice from his coworkers, but I'm happy that they're giving me advice because I'm hoping one of the pieces of advice will just, just give me just get it to be fixed. But right now it's not crashed, so we'll take it. We'll consider this a W. Yeah, cross our fingers. But honestly, other than that, Oh no, actually, yeah, I've been going to the gym with Pat like every day, pretty much.
The gym on campus.
No, Planet Fitness.
Oh, right on. There we go.
Yeah.
That's no, I commend you. Like you're being very consistent. Seems like that's a tough thing to do to get into a schedule, especially with everything else going on in everyone's lives. So that's really good. I'm happy for you. I can see the gains through the screen that it's paying
Whoa.
off. So
Thank you. I'm blushing. I'm gonna hide.
um,
What about you though, Davy Jones? What do
Yeah,
you
what
got
you
going
doing?
on lately?
just been working again. Working again. Just been working. Same as the last update. Trying to get into a more consistent schedule with this podcast. Few people at work checked out our last episode, Carter, and they said it was pretty good. I'm sure they'll be watching this one too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
good. They all get a kick out of the fact that like I can't say legally where I work, and it's not like I work for some government company. I just want to clarify that, but like I don't want to take the chances of saying where I work for privacy reasons and also for company policy reasons. But they all thought it was hilarious how I'm acting like I work for some like a witness protection program. Yeah, no complaints though.
Witness protection program.
Yeah, I work for the FBI basically.
Screaming.
I'm part of the feds, as the kids say.
Oh, wait, DJ a Fed?
Yeah, I got ops and all that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, just been working. We're getting to that point where it's like getting close. Like, do I walk a graduation or not? So I'm still mulling that decision.
Do it. We're gonna walk pretty close together.
A lot of people are saying I should do it, and we'll see. Maybe I'll make my big announcement here on this podcast. I don't think anyone will care, but like maybe I'll just pull LeBron and I'll pull LeBron and make my decision on here. Got my vacations approved at work, so got all my weeks off all set for the year. I'm trying to I think I told you this last podcast that the week after we graduate, I have off for vacation. So I want to do something big that week, just to remember, because I don't really do anything fun for myself. Excuse me. So I want to do something memorable. But yeah, really, it's just honestly been just work, eat, sleep, work, repeat. As boring as that sounds, but a lot of my energy has just been focused on trying to get better at my job. But that's only sustainable for so long because literally you need to have a work-life balance. Like I can't have work consume all my life, so I need to like get my hobbies in a line or like get back to a healthy balance. But yeah, it's been good. I've had a pretty productive last few months, which I'm happy about. It's not as weird being out of school as I thought it'd be, but that's probably just because I've just been busy every day. But yeah, that time will come in a couple months when I'll be able to reflect and just officially enter the next chapter of my life. Not to get too sentimental, but yeah, it's been good.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Sounds like you got a nice routine going. It's always nice. I like a good routine.
Yeah, somewhat of a routine. Go to work every day, eat my fruits and veggies, eat my fruits.
Tell some dad jokes.
Fruits and veggies.
Oh, I tell dad jokes all the time. They know me as the ice cream king at work. I mean, I do love my ice cream.
Oh, that's great.
I'm high on life. That's what I say now. I'm just high on life.
High on life. He's basically future.
I get through my shifts kind of on like a sugar high because like I have a little bit of ice cream. What's up?
Sipping that Gatorade.
Yeah, I have Gatorade. I have some scoops of ice cream every day before I go to work, and people think that that's like the most interesting thing ever. Friendlies, hood flavored. I've been loving this last few months. My new favorite flavor. It's Ben and Jerry's Americone Dream. It's Stephen Colbert on the cover. It's vanilla ice cream with like chocolate chips and like caramel fudge.
I like the tomato. Low key a rival flavor. Seeing as it's like the talk show people.
Right. Who's on the cover of that one? Kimmel?
No, the other Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, I think I saw that one.
Jeez, he's cashing strays too. Chris
Big
Paul
fan of Jimmy Fallon here.
Nah, I like Jimmy Fallon. He's what's up.
Me too.
Did you guys go to the St. Patrick's Day parade in Boston?
Nah.
I went there, but then after I woke up from my dream, yeah.
Ooh, what about you
No,
guys?
I did
Oh
not
yeah,
go.
took the train in from my not the oh I won't say the station, but you know what station.
Is it the one that we were just talking about before we came
Not
on
the
air?
other one. The other one.
The one near.
The one right next to me.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. But it was not too packed from here, but dude,
Did you
every
take the
stop.
Did you take the public bus to get there?
Oh no, we just after that once no, we drove there. We drove there. We drove there and parked in the
Okay.
garage. But it was
Garage.
crazy. Like every town you went to, there's just more and more people, and like I'm trying to think how many people were just fitting on like the red line once we got in there, or no, like the orange line. I think one of the lines. I don't know. Like they were just compacting, like pushing people in, just like cramming the doors, and it was crazy.
That sounds like my worst nightmare. Were you getting nervous during it, or were you just like, dang, like this is weird, but like this day's gonna be effing awesome?
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, you kind of described it pretty well. I mean, I went to it last year and had a really good time, and so I was like, well, as long as I get home, because last time I had to Uber home, and that was unfortunate. But this time I made the train,
Good.
so I'll take
Yeah,
it. Success.
I saw people on the
Sweet.
internet saying on Clock Talk saying that like
Clock talk.
it it wasn't like it was a pretty calm event. Like in years past at the St. Patrick's Day parade, they like fight each other in the streets and stuff like that, and like yell at each other.
Yeah.
People said it was pretty calm this year. Like, what'd you think?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I remember like the first time we went, I do remember a few disagreements. I don't know if it was like I mean, I was with the same people as both times, but I do remember a few people just wanting unwanted disagreements just randomly, just walking by someone and someone wanted something to say. But this year, yeah, no, it was pretty tame. So I think maybe everyone's in a better mood this year.
Yeah,
Sweet.
maybe, yeah, because people say like Boston's changed a lot. Like really, like back in the day, it used to be like truly like rough and tough. Like the whole Bostonian caricature that you hear about was like truly
Yeah.
evident in like every Bostonian you met back in the day. But now, every time I go in the city, and this is again, this isn't any of us dissing the city and like the area we live in, but like every time I go into Boston now lately, just feels super watered down. Like you run into a couple Bostonians, but like I don't know, everyone just seems like super friendly, like kind of like vanilla now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Boston though. I feel like it's always been a fun place to go to.
Would you live there?
Would I live there? If I had a
I
job
wouldn't.
there, okay, what if you have a job there that you don't need to drive to and you could take a bike or the train, you know what I mean?
I would move to like Woburn or Medford, like right outside Boston.
Ruben.
Even if you like but would you rather just like have that no drive at all, just a quick little walk to work if you did live in Boston?
Oh, I'm sorry. So you said if like I have a job in Boston that's like right next to where I would hypothetically live?
Yeah, and you didn't have to drive, like you could bike, train, walk.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. Then I'd suck it up.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably do the same, but I don't know. You know, if money talks, I mean, if the job was good enough, I might just drive into Boston every day. I wouldn't mind.
Facto.
How much money would you need
Yeah.
to drive into Boston every day, though? Like, what would
Um,
your salary need to be? Because mine would be a pretty penny.
I mean, I'd say honestly, I mean, I don't know, maybe like I don't want to highball it or lowball it, but I honestly say I'd probably do it for 85K.
Okay, how about you, Sean?
Mm, I'm probably in like the same boat, 85 to like a hundo. Like
I don't want
I
to say
don't know.
100,
I've had a
like,
short commute like my whole like kind of like working career, so
yeah, same.
I just have a hard time like seeing that like I'll be okay with like a like long commute, and I feel like I do have some road rage, so yeah.
Hey, you guys are both the goats at driving now. I think I've driven into Boston with both of you, and you were very cool. You guys are like the Tom Brady of driving. You're just cool, calm, and collected behind the wheel in the 2 minute drive
I love to hear that.
right by Starrow
Thank you.
Drive. Yeah, no, I I hate the drive so much. That's why I always use public transportation, but that's not much better because like you have guys with rats on like the orange line. Did you guys see that? Some guy like loves to threaten people with rats on the orange line, and
What?
he got arrested a couple days ago.
with rats? Like, what do you mean? Like, he has them in his hand? Like, I'm gonna get you.
He just goes on the
I'm
orange
gonna
line.
get you.
I don't know if he hops on in Oak Grove or wherever, but I'm gonna get you. He just like when people like irritate him or something. His rat's named Jerry, and he just taunts them with the rat or something. And he got arrested, and like people were making jokes like, "Oh, did the rat get arrested too? Can we get a rat mug shot?" It's funny stuff, but those are the risks that you take when you take public transportation, not just in Boston, but anywhere.
New York's messed up.
Yeah, public transpo any day. Like my minimum salary I would need to drive into Boston every day would probably be 500,000, and that's yeah,
What?
that's
Damn.
minimum.
500?
If I have to, like, the traffic has been terrible, but like the traffic's getting worse. Like there's no such thing as an off shift in Boston. Okay, like what I mean by that is, say that you work like nights in Boston, you're still going to be in jam stuck traffic. Like we'll get into this because this is actually one of the topics I want to talk about. But like I work nights right now at my location in a certain city in Massachusetts. I hit the highway at the right time because I'm working nights. So the highways I take perfectly clear, and I always laugh when I look at the other side of the highway and all the people coming home for their first shift, just completely traffic
dance
jammed.
on them.
There's no such thing as a easy drive into Boston now. Like people are taking clips of them driving into Boston at 2 p.m. It looks like a 5 a.m. commute getting into Boston. It's like there is no such thing as a quiet time in the being. And if I'm going to do that, and again, Boston's pretty far from where I am currently, so like you think of the gas too. If I'm going to put up with all this, I need the Fazools, the De Niro to compensate.
The De Niro. Okay,
So,
I respect it. I respect the answer.
I hear you.
I like it, but I mean,
I
don't know, something about like in my lifetime, I just want to be able to like experience living in Boston, even if it's not for a long time, just like maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I feel like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
no,
that's good.
We talked about where Boston's a lot more unique than other cities, where it's a city, but it has like a small town vibe where like everyone knows each other. Like a lot of good food. Like the North End is just like another version of Italy. There's a decent amount to do. I know a lot of people are mad that like nightlife basically shuts down at I think midnight or 2 a.m. But it's like any other city. There's plenty to do, plenty of people to meet. Good age range of people. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to consider living there at some point. It's just the transportation just ruins it for me. Just like how long it takes to get from anywhere. But that's any city, right? But it's just never say never for me. But I commend you, Carter, for wanted to put up with or embracing the city challenges. That's for sure.
It seems like it could be a fun experience. Maybe. I feel like it would be fun for maybe half the year.
I feel like for me, it's like if I were to like commute to Boston from where I live, which is like 40 minutes away, it's like my dad did it for like 30 years or whatever. Commuted to Boston, like his whole like work career, all that. And like he'd get in at work like wicked early, and then he'd leave like right before the rush. So he'd leave at like 1:30, and he'd beat the rush and everything like that. But this man would be waking up at like 3:40 in the morning or like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So I feel like for myself, if I were to stay where I stay now, I would probably have to like my whole like 5-day like work week is just absolutely revolved around like work. So it's like, say if I wanted to hit the gym, I wanted to get food, like it all depends on like just work. So it's like if I want to go to the gym, I probably got to wake up wicked early, like drive there first, like to the area, and then like hit the gym like before work. And then once I get out, it's like I either get out early or like say if like I want to get food or something like that, like I gotta like weigh the options of like driving there because the traffic's just insane. It's not worth it to me to sit in bumper to bumper traffic, you know what I mean, for 2 hours, 3 hours, however long it is. So I feel like if I were to do anything like in like the weekdays, it would just revolve around work. And it's like if I were to get out at like 5 o'clock or something, if I would have worked like an 8 to 5, then I probably like wouldn't like leave like to go home until like 7 or something like that, because that's when like the traffic like dies down. But at that point, it's like, is it really worth it? Because then, like, if I'm coming home so late and I'm waking up so early, I might as well just live there. You know what I mean? So like that kind of brings up that part of like the topic we were talking about. So I just feel like it'd be tough for me to manage my time like on like an everyday basis, just because you got to worry about the commute, and then um, just like whatever else you'd like to do, because it's a 40-minute drive, but then you put traffic on it, you'll be stuck there forever. You know. So
Yeah.
if you want to hit the gym, cook dinner, something like that, it's like you're looking, at a tough situation there, in my opinion.
So that brings me to my next topic, actually, and this is a perfect segue. Last, I'd say almost 3 years since really the pandemic began, companies have been putting a lot more of an emphasis on this idea of work-life balance, where work is only your life for 8 hours a day, 4 to 5 times a week, and they want to make sure their employees aren't burning themselves out and making sure that they can enjoy their lives as well. Some employers have jumped ahead of the bell with this. A lot of employees now, when they go to jobs or like look for a job, specifically us Gen Z potential candidates, are looking for jobs that give us work-life balance. Do you guys think that this idea of work-life balance is a real thing, and do you experience it personally?
I think it's a pretty good idea, but you gotta really make it a balance, because you could do too much work or just too much free time, and it'll affect the other side. So, like, you gotta kind of find like an even balance. But for example, like some of the jobs that I applied for, like when I was on the internship hunt, oh my god, I like choked on my words there. Sorry, but when I was like looking for internships, I saw that they would do like in the summer like half days on Friday, or like you could do 4-day work weeks and like pick like 1 to 2 days you do like online. So I feel like that's kind of like a good balance, but kind of is necessary. People are getting burnt out more and more. So yeah, I feel like it kind of is necessary nowadays. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, like I mean, it stinks that like the pandemic kind of like brought that upon like employers to like realize like kind of like the situation with like workers and getting like like tired out, all that stuff. But I think it's a pretty good idea. But I don't know if it could translate possibly to like real life like stuff. Like I know that I think in like the United Kingdom they were doing like studies about like 4-day weeks, but they're like 10-hour days or something like that, or 8-hour days, and then like employees like have like an extra day off in the week, and like the productivity like rate like increases by like 30% or something, which is like significant. But I just feel like as like countries like America and like whoever else, like we've been working 40-hour weeks for like decades, like centuries or however long. So I don't think you can replace it. Um, I just feel like like it's a great idea. Like I mean, I'm a huge fan of it. I'd like to have an extra day off. Throughout the week. I work 5 days a week, so I mean, at the same time too, if you were to like cut back on everything, like think of everything that like needs to be done like now. If you take like a day like out of like the week and cancel that out, that's not a day. Like you got to try to cram in all that stuff that you do in a normal week into like one of the 4 days, or collectively within each of the 4 days. So I think it's a great idea. I don't know if it could ever translate, sadly, because then it'll just come down to like money, like all that. But
Hmm.
I mean, I'd be a fan of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think as like time goes on, technology improves. Like you'll see like different ways of like how we can maximize our potential as like humans, as well as like using technology and utilizing that, so we don't have to work as hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'll give my 2 cents on this. I think that work-life balance companies are starting to do better at it, and like looking out for their employees and like making sure that they don't get burnt out. I think that they were doing a horrible job before the pandemic, but I think that a great thing happened during the pandemic where employees started to push back and like spoke out to their companies saying like, or expecting too much out of me. Either pay me more or just like, I'm going to get burnt out. So you need to accommodate us somehow. Like
Yeah.
I kind of like how employees took back a little bit of leverage in this whole pandemic of sorts, or in this whole
Right.
pandemic. But I think you brought up an interesting point, Carter, where you said like work-life balance can exist. And I think it can exist in any circumstances. Like if you
Mhm.
work 5 8-hour days, there's still work-life balance, but like you really have to work to make that work-life balance happen yourself. Like you can't just like sacrifices have to be made. Like if you work nights, like if you work 3 to 11, you can't sleep in the next day until 11. I mean, you'll still have a few hours to like just hang out before you start your shift, but you may have to
Mhm.
sacrifice some sleep where you can get up early and just get your stuff done or do whatever the heck you want to do before you go to work. Because if you just sleep 8 to 10 hours and then just basically spend the only couple hours you're up getting ready for work, that's not really much of a balance. So I think that there does need to be some uh, work put in by the employees to have a
Mhm.
balance. But
Yeah.
I'll commend certain companies for doing more to uh, show or provide their employees with some sort of balance between work and life. Um, my company, and I can't say which company I work for, but they're doing a great job with work life balance. And before I get to them, I looked this up. There's a Chick-fil-A in Florida that allows their employees to work a 3-day, 14-hour per shift work week. I would not do
Wow.
that,
Yeah.
but
That's a
that is work-life
grind.
balance. Yes. You basically can't do anything for 3 days of the week, but you have 4 days off.
Yeah. But then, like,
Ah.
I look at it like it's like Chick-fil-A, like they like grind, and they really like try to make you feel like you're a value customer and everything. Like they grind, they like all of them like strive to be like the best that they can. So it's like if they were to work like that 3-day like work week, like 14 hours each day, like granted they probably get like an hour lunch, all that, but that is a grind. So it's like if you're grinding like as hard as you can for 3 days straight, like you're probably like, like recovering from that for like at least like 2 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look at it like that. But I mean, I'm for it. I don't know if people can do it, then why not? I'm not gonna hate on it. They should go for it. I personally, I don't think I'd be built for that. But I mean,
That that's a long time to spend in a restaurant.
yeah,
Yeah, you probably
14
hate Chick-fil-A after that.
for real.
and most of those people, like they're all great employees when we deal with them, but most of those people are probably faking their personalities because part of Chick-fil-A's mo is being nice to their nice to the customers.
My
I don't
pleasure.
think Right. I don't think every employee I've ever seen there is like a very happy-go-lucky person in real life. So faking it till you make it for 14 hours a day, 3 times a week, that could also be mentally taxing. And that's what I thought too when that first came out, Sean, where it's like you're spending a couple like yeah, you have 4 days off, but at least one of those days is spent recovering after working 3 straight 14-hour shifts.
Right. Yeah. Low key could make like a weekend trip out of it though. That's kind of lit. Not gonna lie.
Right.
4-day trip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are the pros and cons to that shift for sure, but I mean, it seems like it's been a big hit. Um, Now I'll talk about the company I work for. So my company offers shifts that are called the A shifts, the B shifts, and the C shifts. So the A shift is Monday through Friday. You work from 5:15 to 3:15. Or sorry, it's Monday through Thursday, and you work 5:15 to 3:15 Monday through Thursday. So you work 4 10-hour days, and you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's more doable. I mean, it depends what I'd be doing, but I don't know. Maybe I could get down with that. But like, I think that's where a lot of things are trending as well.
Because and you have to show up for the shift a half hour early where I work because there's just a lot of preparation to do before everyone else comes in. So it's really 4:45 to 3:15. But
Yeah.
by the time you get out, there's still I don't know 5 hours before you have to wind down and get ready for the next day to do plenty of stuff. Um, and you get a 3-day weekend, so that's just the benefit. You grind for 10 days, you're still working for 4 days, you're still working 40 hours. It's a 40-hour work week, but it's just you work 2 extra days Monday through Thursday, and you don't have to come in Friday, and you have a 3-day weekend. And a lot of the employees like that because they can save on they don't have to take off Fridays and use like their own time, like vacation time or sick time, because that's already a scheduled day off for them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind that.
my coworker back in the day, we used to work Saturdays at the bank, but then we stopped doing Saturdays. But I think Saturdays our shifts would be like 4.5 hours long, but she would use that to her advantage, where she'd work every Saturday, and it'd only be from like 7:45 to like 12, but she'd get an extra day off throughout the week, so she'd grind and do like an open to close maybe a couple times, and then work a Saturday, but then get like an extra day off throughout the week. So technically she'd have technically it's like 2.5 days, but I mean, it's nice to have a day off like during like the regular like work week.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of worth noting.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about that, Carter?
I feel like it's easier than what you said with the Chick-fil-A schedule, like the 14 hours. It's like definitely easier than that. But I don't know. I've done 8-hour shifts. Like, what's another 2 hours? Maybe you might get another half-hour break too.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take
that's a
it.
good point.
I'd prefer that, I think, over like a 5-day, 8-hour shift work week.
Yeah, so the people who do that shift, they get 2 15-minute breaks, 2 paid 15-minute breaks, and then a half-hour break. So you get a whole hour worth of breaks. So you're basically only working 9.5 hours or 9 hours.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That's not the one you do, though, right? That's not the schedule you do?
So that's not the one I'll do, and I'll get to that.
Okay.
The second shift is called the B shift at my work, and the B shift is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You work 5:15 in the morning to 5:35 at night. So you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but you get Monday through Thursday off.
That doesn't sound very fun.
You lose the weekend. You get 4 days off, but it's basically like a 3-day marathon. You're basically doing a whole week of work in 3 days.
I feel like that would be nice if like someone that like if someone wants to go out on the weekend, that's probably the worst schedule for them. But if someone likes to, go for like daytime like skiing trips or like hiking or something, it's not going to be busy during the week. I mean, I feel like that would be a perfect schedule for someone like that. Like you, Davy Jones. I mean, cross country skier over here.
Trapping.
Me?
Yeah, cross country skier.
That is true. I do ski in my my free time. I ski on the little bunny hills, and use the magic carpet to get up the mountains. I haven't gone skiing forever. It's been like over a decade. But
oh really?
Yeah,
I used to like it.
Lit.
It's fun. I should definitely get back into it. I like I said, I need some hobbies. So,
dude, next year, let's go. Me and Pat went. I think like a month ago. Me, Pat, and Ant went during one of the snowstorms, and it was so cool.
Nice. That would be a fun little play date for sure.
And some color boys.
We upgraded this podcast to show LED lights. This is unprecedented.
That's right.
He's trapping.
Yeah, no, I mean that shift.
Wait, so you work second shift, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. So I was going to get to that. I work second shift hours. I had something else on the B shift. The other benefit of the B shift is that, like, when you want to take vacations and you're on the B shift, you just have to use 3 vacation days. It's not like you have to use 5 days or 4 days. So you save up on vacation time as well. But
that's true.
Like I said, like those days, like waking up super early and like the meetings, and it's pretty intense from what I hear. But you get 4 days off. So again, pros and cons to everything. The C shifts is basically second shift 10-hour version. So it's the second shift version of A shift. You work 4 to 2:30 Monday through Thursday, and you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So 4 p.m. to 2:30 a.m.
I can't. Every time you talk to me about it, I'm like, that sounds good, but then sometimes I'm like, ooh.
What?
That does sound rough.
It would just be tough for me because I wouldn't be getting home until like closer to 3:30, and I can't just like fall asleep right when I get home. So I'm probably going to sleep right around the time you go to sleep, Carter, now, which is like 5:30. No, like if I were on that shift, I'd be going to sleep at like 5 or 5:30.
Oh, I was gonna say, get you in the stream at that time.
Yeah. Hey guys, I just got done with my shift. I'm now streaming. Yeah, so that would really screw me up if I did that. But like again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So there's pros and cons. Um,
Yeah.
the shift I work is second shift. It's called second shift. I work 4 p.m. to 12:15 a.m. Monday through Friday, and I have to be there for 3:30 because it takes a half hour to set up the shift. Um, I like it. I was a little skeptical. They only offered me second shift when I got the job, and I was a little skeptical. I mean, I used to work. The first official job I had was like nights after high school days, so
Mhm.
working second shifts was nothing new to me.
Yeah.
Little skeptical at first about it, but I honestly love it, and I have no qualms about it because I'm not. The last few years, I haven't really been a morning person, and
Mhm.
I don't like waking up to an alarm. So it's really like the perfect schedule for me in the sense that like work 4 to 12, come back home around 1, fall asleep around 3, and then like get up around 11, 11:30, and then I have like three and a half, 4 hours just to hang out before I go to work. Um, and plus, like everyone on second shift, it's like there's not as many managers there. Everyone's all well rested and like happy to be there. I'm not saying like the first shift is different. It's just like, we're all well rested, happy to be there. All the managers and the big bosses usually leave by 6. So it's kind of like a good camaraderie. Whereas like every time when I was training, I had to train on first shift and it seems like a lot more tense. All the big bosses are there. It's a little bit more stressful and by the book.
Uh-huh.
It's funny. Like first shift is like by the book, like very, very intense with good reason. Whereas second shift is like, yeah, bro, we'll get this done, but we'll get it done when we get it done, bro. Like, let's ride the wave, bro.
I think I prefer that one.
Yeah, so far I prefer that, and it just fits perfectly with my schedule. And I hit the highways at the right time, as I said earlier. That's the big thing. Friday was just hilarious, just seeing all the traffic on the 93 for everyone leaving from the first shift, and then I'm just cruising in second shift, and it's like so glad I don't have to sit in that right now for an hour. But yeah, I was initially offered the B shift or second shift, but when I got hired, they only gave me second shift. It would have been tempting to do B shift, just having the 4 days off, but like it wouldn't have been sustainable for me probably to wake up at like 5 o'clock or like 4 o'clock, even if it was for 3 days. Like that, early mornings are tough for me. Like I can do them, but like it takes me a few hours to function. So I just like not having to wake up to an alarm.
Sure.
That is nice for sure. Alarms, something about that sound of the alarm just pierces through my ears. And then every time I hear it, I just get flashbacks.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's like, and it's like when I know I have to wake up to an alarm some mornings, it's like the night before, I just can't sleep because I'm dreading waking up to the alarm. And it's like I don't
For
get any
real.
sleep as is. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
it's
point
tough.
right there. No lie.
And develop like I don't have any bags under my eyes right now, which is great. But like when waking up in the early mornings, it's like I have bags under my eyes. I'm not sure if they're paper or plastic.
The designer.
Sheesh.
I think I've said that line a few times. I'm sure some people saw that coming. But hey, I can't. I got to say a dad joke every podcast. I got to keep the tradition going. Oh, anyways, so next topic. This is a favorite. I'm gonna love talking about this topic. You guys might be bored by it, but baseball has been off to a hot start in 2023. Baseball has been taking a lot of W's lately. There's a pitch clock now in the MLB, so games are going by a lot more faster. And the World Baseball Classic, which is like the Olympics for baseball, just wrapped up early last week, and that was a huge hit as well. That got record viewers. Yeah, baseball. A lot more people are like telling me and like talking on social media, saying like for the first time in forever, they feel like they're going to watch more baseball this year because on average, it's spring training right now. The regular season hasn't started yet. It's going to start this week, but on average, baseball games with the pitch clock are a half hour shorter.
Really? That's kind of
That
big.
makes a difference.
And pitchers have 15 seconds in between pitches when no one's on base and 20 seconds when people are on base. So there being times, and this has been floated around in baseball for years, and they're finally implementing it, where they're just trying to make the games go by faster because ratings have gone down for years in baseball. People in our generation aren't entertained by it. So they're trying to do everything they can to make like us love baseball. Um, bases bases are 4 inches bigger to promote more offense. The pitch clock, a lot of other different rules, but they're just MLB is pulling out all the stops and they're trying a lot of different things to just get more people to watch the games. So as a lifelong baseball fan, this has all been music to my ears. I love seeing people on social media. I love seeing baseball trending because like networks like ESPN, they only talk about like basketball and football, and like they're starting to talk about hockey, but that's only because like they just picked up a hockey contract a couple years ago.
Right.
ESPN,
Yep.
yeah, you know this, Sean. ESPN couldn't care less about hockey until a year ago.
Right.
So they're hypocrites with that.
Yep.
Baseball, they don't even pay attention to, which is just ridiculous. But it's
Really?
good to see. Yeah, because ESPN just rides the wave with whatever's popular, and it's the Lakers in basketball. It used to be the Patriots in football. Now it's
The
I
Chiefs.
don't know, the Chiefs. Yep, thank you. And hockey, they just started getting back into, but like I see clips. Like I saw a clip on First Take of, and I hate that I'm giving ESPN attention for this because they don't deserve a platform. But basically, you might have seen this clip too, Sean, where they were on First Take and they were saying like which New York team is closest to winning a championship, and they all said the Knicks, which I expected that from Stephen A. because he's a Knicks fan. But I forget. I think it was Mad Dog said. I think the New York Rangers are the closest to winning a championship, and they said that doesn't count and that they're not really from New York.
That's like the silliest thing I've ever heard. Their name's literally New York Ranger.
My sentiments exactly. So when I see clips like that, it's like just don't even talk about hockey anymore, ESPN, because it's a money game for you. You got a great contract where you get hockey games, you get select games to broadcast on ESPN and ESPN Plus, but like none of your workers watch a hockey game in their free time.
No, they could care less for it.
So swinging this whole thing back around, baseball's been taking a lot of W's this year. A lot more people are saying like they like the changes that are being made. Will you guys be watching more baseball this year?
I mean, I did. What was it? The Baseball World Series? Is that what you said it was?
The World Baseball Classic.
The World Baseball Classic. So I remember hearing about that, and that was like my sign in my head, like, oh, I haven't heard about baseball like at all. Like, I don't even know since probably when Sean brought me to a baseball game.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, that Duncan's car.
Shout out Sean for that beautiful behind the home plate seats.
Yeah. So I think Bryce Harper was he on the Phillies a couple of years ago? Is he still on the Phillies?
Yep.
Yeah. I know he's good. But yeah, for me, I can't really get behind baseball, honestly. Like I just can't. Not really my kind of sport. I'm sure like I'll see more clips of it, as you said. Like a lot of people are much more like enjoying it and stuff like that. But for me, no, not really. I mean, I grew up playing lacrosse and stuff like that, and I respect the sport. I've learned over the years that it's harder than like you really think it is. Like trying to hit like a ball at like 90 miles per hour, all that. It's very difficult. So props to them. It's just not my cup of tea, really.
Is there anything that the MLB could do to get you guys to want to watch them?
Better jerseys.
Yeah, low-key. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe more like visually appealing ones.
They are pretty bland. It's either just white or gray or blue or something like that. So I can respect that.
Speeding up the game is another one too. That's a good one.
Oh,
what is it?
Like speeding up the game too. Like that was good.
Yeah, so that's like the pitch clock helps out with that a lot. Hopefully, I mean, people are complaining, saying like, "Oh, by the time I get in line and get a beer and sit back down and watch the game, it'll be the 9th inning already." But it's like, you're begging for the games to be sped up, and the games are going to get sped up, and now you're angry that that's happening. I guess we gave you your cake and you don't want to eat it. I don't get it sometimes.
Yeah, people say that they low-key like want the players to like juice and stuff like that, so that they can hit more balls.
I think that's a great idea too. Like, let everyone just use steroids again. I'm being serious. Like, back in the 90s, Back in the 90s, everyone was on steroids. Like Barry Bonds was on steroids, Roger Clemens was on steroids, and the whole world knew. Well, like that created some of the best moments in sport. Baseball might have been the most popular sport back in the 90s. Like when Roger Clemens was on the mound facing Barry Bonds, you're either going to see a 200-mile-per-hour fastball or you're going to see Barry Bonds taking 750 feet. They're both juiced up out of their minds. Something crazy is going to happen.
More juice than Tropicana.
Exactly. I like the way you're thinking.
Sir.
And we just had the greatest moment in baseball in years on World Baseball Classic when Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout to end the World Baseball Classic. So Shohei Ohtani is probably the most exciting player in baseball. He's like a modern-day Babe Ruth. He can pitch, he can hit, and he can play the outfield. He won MVP a couple years ago. He might be the best player in the MLB now. And if he's not the best, then he's the second best, and the best would be his teammate, Mike Trout. Mike Trout's been the best player in baseball the last 12 years, one of the best players of all time. And it just so happened that the final at-bat of the World Baseball Classic was, as I just said, Shohei Ohtani on the mound facing his teammate in the MLB, Mike Trout. And the whole stadium was going crazy, and Ohtani struck him out to win the World Baseball Classic. And it's like Hollywood couldn't have written it any better, honestly. And like it's moments like that that are going to really make the MLB go viral and like skyrocket in popularity. Because like I didn't see that live, but like that's just an epic moment, not just in the MLB, but in all of sports. That's like in the All-Star game, they compare it to the NBA this past season, or in the season where Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going one-on-one against each other in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Like those are just moments that just get everyone excited.
Right. Yeah, those moments are cool.
But again, I do tend to agree with you guys in the sense like maybe it's too little too late for baseball in terms of like getting younger people to watch the game because that stigma is still going to be there that baseball is boring and all that. And it's kind of hard. As much positive momentum as I think that baseball has gained this year, I think like it's really hard. Like perception is reality, right? So it's hard to beat a stigma as much as you beat it. So even if the game is being sped up, if young people still think of the stereotype that baseball is slow, there's nothing the MLB can do about that as hard as they try. But
yeah,
as a baseball fan, like sometimes I'll get bored when I'm going to games. Like I went to a game last year, the home opener, and like yeah, the home openers are longer games in general, but like I was there 5 or 6 hours.
Oh my god,
way too long. So I'm happy for the pitch clock being there. And we'll just have to see how it goes. This is like kind of a trial year for the future of the MLB, but happy with the results so far, and looking forward to going to some games, hopefully.
How are the Red Sox looking? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really tapped in with the MLB, but how are Red Sox?
Yeah, so the Red Sox had a really disappointing year last year. There was a lot of high expectations because in 2021, we came 6 games away from winning the World Series. That was a magical season. So expectations were pretty high in 2022, but we disappointed. The last decade plus for the Red Sox has been a roller coaster ride. It's like we finish in first 1 year, then we're in last the next 2 years, then we win the World Series, then we're in last for 3 years, then we win the World Series again. So last year we finished in last again. Expectations for the Red Sox this year are pretty low. We're probably projected to get anywhere from 76 to 86 wins. So if we get 86 wins, we may be able to squeak into the playoffs.
Wait, how many games are in the season?
162.
Maybe.
They basically play every day for 7 months, essentially.
Do you think people would watch if they like shorten the amount of games?
100%.
Like more people would watch?
100%.
Yeah, because then like each game like matters more. Like if there's like less.
Sure. Like 160, that's like almost it is double the NBA. Even that feels long.
Oh, yeah.
The NBA,
no
the NBA's regular season is just a joke because 20 of the 30 teams make the playoffs, basically, with now the play-in tournament. The MLB is boring as people think it is. They're the most meaningful sport in a sense where it's like the playoffs are only 3 weeks. So you play 7 months just to play 3 weeks.
Playoffs are nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You really have to earn it in baseball.
If the Red Sox were in like the championship and in the playoffs, I'd watch.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people around the area say. Like, they're not going to sit down and watch a regular season game, but if we're still in October, they're going to watch.
Right.
As for how the team's going to be this year, we're projected to be mediocre to below average, but every time someone makes a projection on the Red Sox, they always seem to do the opposite. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me the Red Sox have an unexpectedly amazing year, but I'm going to say we're mediocre. We got a lot of depth, which we prioritized this offseason. Last year, we got hit with the injury bug real bad, and we were, basically running out there or implementing like a AAA lineup some days, which isn't going to win you MLB games. So
Mhm.
if injuries happen, we're prepared. But you know, losing Bogarts was a huge blow this offseason. Um, we'll just have to see how it goes. But I think this team's going to be mediocre. But the Yankees and Blue Jays are definitely better than us on paper, and then the Rays and Orioles can give us a run for our money. So all those teams that I just listed are in our division. So it's going to be
Right.
tough for us.
All right, so I won't be watching this year.
Hopefully in the future, though, the GM set a great plan. So hopefully in the future we'll be better, and we'll be better for consistently better for years at a time.
Mhm.
But we'll just have to see what happens. So more Boston sports talk. The Bruins. We're going to talk some Bruins now. The Bruins, by no have been having an amazing season, a historic season. They just won today at the time of filming this podcast. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3 in a shootout. They're 57, 11, and 5 on the season, including 33 and 3 at home, I think. That's insane. And this is quite the out of water season where a lot of people I talked to just projected the Bruins to be a 7 or 8 seed. Like, oh, this is going to be the last year of the core that won the cup and went to 2 others. But, this is a cute little team, but they're not going to make any noise. New coach, we brought this guy in. Everyone's still like Cassidy. I mean, it's cliche at this point, but this has been an amazingly magical season for the Bruins, and we have a great chance of winning the cup. Honestly, I mean, we still have to play it out in April, May, and June, but we just had such a dominant season. We clinched the Atlantic Division yesterday. We have we're 109. We have 119 points, which is 16 more than the next closest team. So we hopefully will have home ice advantage throughout the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
I'll turn it over to the Bruins insider here, though, Sean, just to talk about how the team's doing and just your thoughts on the Bruins season as a whole. I'll give you the floor for a few minutes here.
Sure. Bruins doing real well. Definitely exceeded expectations from the beginning with everybody hurt, main key players that were hurt to start the season. The coach really seems to mesh well with the players and stuff like that. Everybody seems to be picking up the slack. If it's not the top line scoring, they got depth scoring. They got 9 NHL defensemen in rotation. They got so much defensemen that can play in the league that they got to send some down. So they got insane depth, and they made crazy moves at the deadline. And I'm not saying this because I'm a big fan of them, but if they don't win the championship this year, that would just be insane. Everything is aligned for them to win. They added the pieces they needed to. The people they added are exactly what they needed, and big fans of all of them. And I don't see why they can't make a run and really win it. I seriously can't. They got it. They have the players that can do it. And I'd really be shocked if they don't win this year. I know hockey, anything can happen in hockey, but this is the most talented team they've had in my lifetime. Zero doubt about it. They've never been more talented ever. This is definitely their year. It's got to be. I'd be shocked if they don't lose, or if they lose. I'd be shocked, seriously.
And it feels like this is truly the last chance with this core to win a championship. And I think
No doubt.
management echoed those sentiments. I mean, we basically treated it like NHL 23 at the deadline, where it's just like, look, this is the last year of the franchise. Let's throw these picks out there. Let's get these guys and let's just go for it. You know, we'll pay for it later, but like this is our year, and we gotta really go for it. Big fan of those additions too. Dmitry Orlov has been great. Bertucci's, as I call him, he's been a great playmaker. Tyler Bertuzzi.
Yep.
Garnett Hathaway, Kevin Garnett Hathaway.
That's crazy.
Pasta had 50 servings of pasta today. I think did he score again?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's coming together, and like these last two games just felt like old time hockey with all the Donnybrooks. Like yesterday, that game against Tampa, there were all those fights to start the game. Our goaltending, both of our goaltenders have been insane. Allmark's probably going to win the Vezina, and Swayman's been a great backup youngster.
Yeah, they'll win the Jennings, which is like the best like tandem in like the league. Like, there's no way that they don't.
Jim Montgomery, a lot of people didn't know what to expect from him as coach. A lot of us wanted to keep Bruce Cassidy, and he's just been amazing. Whatever he's doing is working.
Right.
It feels like it's all come together, and like I genuinely hope that they get it done, because like this would be just a perfect way to just, if we win the Stanley Cup, to send everyone off. Like Bergeron would likely retire if we win, I think. Krejci would probably retire, go back to Czech. Jack Edwards, the announcer, I would think would probably retire if we win the Cup. It's just the perfect way to send everyone out, and like maybe people in management would like move on because they've done everything they need to do, and like we're bored. The Bruins right now and the 2010s and the early 2020s are like, they're a borderline dynasty where they won a cup, they went to two others. If we win one more cup, I think you have to call us a dynasty.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, if you look at it, the Bruins have been like a force like in the league for years. Like,
we only ask like
any.
Yeah, sorry.
If you ask like any of like the top players, like, just whenever they face the Bruins, just like, oh, like the Bruins are always like a tough team, this and that. And it's like they've had like the same like core group of players for like years. Like recently in the last few years, like it's like died down. People have like left and retired, all that. But like they've been like a great team for years. You know what I mean? They only missed the playoffs twice. And I mean, the only other teams that can really stack up to them are players who have like franchise players like Ovechkin, the Capitals, like Crosby, and like Pittsburgh. They got Malkin and stuff like that. I'm sure there's like another team that I'm not thinking of, but the Bruins have been right there year in and year out. And, you know, they're there to win. And like the management said, like they're a cap team. Like they'll spend the cap because they know that they'll be like right there. You know, they're not like an Arizona team where they have millions of dollars of cap sitting around, but they don't really like utilize it to like win. You know what I mean? The Bruins are all in.
And I've said this a lot of the times I did Bruins podcast with Brian, and I've said this to people privately too, like off camera, I guess, because you know we all have lives that don't revolve around these camera screens. I would trade the Bruins winning the Stanley Cup this year and having them miss the playoffs 5 years in a row after this year. That's just how much the Stanley Cup means to me, winning one more cup. And there's so much unfinished business with the Bruins too after the last 10 years, with how heartbreaking 13 and 2019 were. 2013, 2 goals in 18 seconds. 2019, losing to the Blues in Game 7.
Yeah.
Hate to bring it up. It's just such a sour subject. And you see like Bennington throwing like hissy fits now, and apparently he's like not even good anymore from what I hear. Like,
no, that man literally after he won Game 7, like he stole one game, and that was Game 7. Since Game 7, I think the next 2 years into 3 years, he lost 9 straight playoff games. Like they got swept 2 years in a row. If you like look it up, he's like 0-4 and 0-5. Like they're like oh man, he's not good. He really is like just a mediocre like goaltender, like average. And it's too bad because he really stole a game, but they're on like a crazy like run. It's nuts, but they're
All the-
not in the playoffs now. So
All the credit to St. Louis that year. They were last in the league in January. They were 7 seed in the playoffs. And, I mean, they got the best of us. I mean, that hurt. And it still probably hurts for players, still hurts for the fans. But, like, you can tell, like, this team is just so hungry. It's like we got some young guns. We got a lot of veterans. It's like, this is like the Bulls had the last dance in the 90s with Jordan. This was like the last dance for the Bruins, basically.
yeah, no doubt. That's what it's looking like.
So
Hopefully they can still retain like the players they got though for next year, but that's looking real slim.
right. So it's now or never. This is literally like pushing all your poker chips to the middle of the table and just going all in. That's what the Bruins are doing. What's your opinion on the Bruins and resting their players in these final 9 games? So they rested Bergeron, Marchand, and Lindholm today. A lot of people are saying that since they basically have the 1 seed locked up, they should just put in some scheduled rest days for players.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely. I mean, you hate to see it considering like what like the NBA does, but at the same time too, it's like if you look at the players that are resting and the reasons why, like they're in a playoff position, Bergeron, Marchand, Krejci, like people like that got tons of miles on them. Lindholm too, this man's been a horse the whole year. So like it's very deserving and they should definitely play smart because like this really is like the last chance and you really like can't screw it up. Like you gotta like, do the best that you can with like what you got and just try to, find a nice happy medium of doing everything right. So I think it's the right choice. They should. Won't be good for my fantasy as I approach the championship round here, but yeah, they got to do what they got to do. I mean, you want to see everybody healthy for playoffs, and hockey's a tough sport, so I got no problem with it.
What's the ideal first round matchup for the Bruins, and what's the who should the Bruins not want to face?
Oh man, I think the Penguins are right up there. And like the wild card spot, I think it's like the Penguins, Islanders, and either the Capitals or like the Sabres. I might be missing one team, but I would say the Penguins, honestly. I think we played well against them. I wouldn't want to face the Islanders as like a wild card team because the Islanders like play very rough and they'll just wear down the Bruins like easily. And that's like an issue with like teams like Tampa Bay and Carolina is that they'll just wear the Bruins down in a 7-game series, and I'm really not confident like with them facing like teams like that. I think they can match up with New Jersey like easily. The Rangers, I think they'd be fine with. Trying to think of like the other teams, but Toronto, I don't know. Toronto, like they might like. There's gonna be a year when they break out, and like it could be this year against the Bruins. It could. Like they're just bound to like break out at some point. They have too much talent to not, but at the same time too, you like they always choke. So you can always lean back on that. But I would say stay away from Tampa, stay away from Carolina, and Toronto's do they really do. But I mean, if the Bruins like beat their first round opponent, they're gonna play either Toronto or Tampa. So you kind of have to go through them all. And as Marchand said last year, it's like winning 4 Stanley Cups. You know what I mean? Each round is like a championship round because of how good the teams are in the East. But I don't think the Rangers are really like that, like, like that good. Like they have great talent, but I don't know. They got a lot of miles on that team, a lot of players who are older and like been through it and stuff. You know what I mean?
If the Bruins win the Stanley Cup this year, will both of you guys be at the parade?
Yeah.
I'll try to. I got to cruise like around the time where like they finish up, so I'm hoping. I'm really hoping, but
Hope they can get it done. That's all that
yeah.
matters.
Hopefully they can get it done before I leave because that's just a dream. That won't happen again for years. Like this moment, if they win, like it won't happen for like a very long time. Like they're going through a big transition like after this year, no doubt.
So you think this is it? Like their last opportunity?
Oh yeah, easily. Like at least at the minimum, like 4 years, like
Damn.
3 to 4 years at the minimum. Like they're contending again. I mean, anything can happen, but I give it like 3 to 4 years at a minimum. Like, no way they can do this like next year unless everybody comes back and everybody takes pay cuts. And that's every single person. That's not one person. That's everybody.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So it's really not looking good. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm just being real, in my opinion.
No, yeah, no, that's completely accurate. I would say it's 2023 or bust for the Boston Bruins, and we hope
really
that they
is.
can get it done. The other team that plays at the TD Garden is also having a very dominant season, the Boston Celtics. The Celtics also just won today. They crushed the Spurs 137-93 without Jason Tatum. And there is now 7 games left in the season for the Celtics.
Wow.
Carter, I'll give you the floor since I know you like the Celtics, just to talk about the Celtics for a bit. Just get your thoughts on them. Yeah, how about it?
I will say I haven't been watching the last few weeks very often, but I'm excited for the playoffs because I'm like headstrong with the Celtics. I really feel like they're gonna make the finals this year, and I'm just excited to see them again. Like that feeling last year watching them against Golden State. I was just feeling like, oh, am I watching the Cavs in Golden State right now? But it was the Celtics, so it just felt so much better. So I'm hoping that happens again. I mean, hopefully not against Golden State because, like, I mean, I don't know if we could beat them, but I feel like we could beat Phoenix. And I'm trying to think of what other teams I would think would make it to the finals. Maybe the Nuggets. I don't know. I have like a lot of faith in the Celtics, though. What about you? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, so the Celtics have won 7 of 9. For a couple weeks, they had a really rough stretch where we kept on blowing like 15, 20-point leads. So some good teams and some bad teams. So people were worried about that. The Celtics' identity has been kind of in limbo this season, where a lot of people think we're just a 3-and-D team, where we just shoot threes and hope they go in, and if we keep missing them, then we just stop trying and like we don't have a game plan. This has just been a really weird year for the franchise because of the whole thing that happened with our coach. Bless you.
Thank you.
No problem. The whole thing that happened with our coach, and then like this new head coach Joe Mazzulla, and he's done a fantastic job. The hate for him is a little ridiculous, in my opinion, given the circumstances. Like, he had only coached at the D2 level, and he's been asked to coach the NBA on such short notice. He was asked to coach an NBA team on such short notice. And he's done a fantastic job. Like, there's going to be bumps in the road for a rookie head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And, Celtics fans and Boston fans in general go crazy whenever we lose a game because they expect results all the time. I don't know. I just think Celtics fans need to take a little bit of a deep breath and understand, like, yeah, he's screwed up a few times. Like, his rotations and crunch time could be better when, like, Marcus Smart's not playing well. Derek White should be in the game. There's been some games lately where Derek White's played 0 minutes in the fourth quarter. It doesn't make much sense at all, but, like, I give Joe Mazzulla a pass this year because he's a rookie head coach. These things are going to be corrected next year because he's going to have a whole year worth of film to review or just to audit. But this year, it's just, like the other big thing lately is like Jason Tatum always getting the ball in clutch situations. Like, why aren't we drawing up plays for Jaylen Brown? I agree with that. But again, it's like you just want to put the ball in the best player's hands. So I get it. But, like, fans are never going to be happy. Celtics fans always melt down, especially on Twitter when we lose one game. It's like you're not going to win all 82 games. But I like the way we're playing heading into the playoffs again. Last year was a crazy season, probably the craziest season I remember as a Celtics fan. Just like the second half turnaround, it was the greatest second half in NBA history. 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. It was a heartbreaking end, but we're set up to go on another deep playoff run. We have a couple important games left, so we have 7 games left, and 5 of them aren't as important, but the 2 that are very important are the game on this Thursday against the Bucks, and then on Tuesday, April 4th against the 76ers. Because right now, we're 2 games back of the Bucks for the 1 seed, and then we're 2 games ahead of the 76ers in the 3 spot. So it's kind of like last year where you want either the 1 or 2 seed because you want home court advantage for at least the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I like the spot that the Celtics are in. I still feel confident that even if we play the Bucks at some point, there was a game a little over a month ago, like 6-7 weeks ago, where we took the Bucks to overtime with their B squad. No Tatum, no Brown, no Robert Williams. I don't even think Al Horford played. And we took Giannis and the Bucks to overtime. We beat the Bucks last year in the playoffs. Tatum dropped 46 in Game 6 on the road against the defending champions. Came back here in Game 7, won. And that point that you talked about, Sean, where Brad Marchand said like it's winning like 4 Stanley Cups if you want to win the cup in the playoffs. Like every round is a Stanley Cup Finals. That's how it was for the Celtics last year. Not to be too sentimental because last year's last year, but like we had the hardest road of any team in the NBA last year. We had to play Katie and Kyrie in Brooklyn in round 1, and we swept them.
That was nuts.
Right? We played the Bucks in the second round, the defending champions, beat them in 7. We played the 1-seeded Heat in round 3, beat them in 7, Game 7 being in Miami. And then we took the dynasty Golden State Warriors to 6 games. Now, we could have won that series, and that one's going to hurt for a while, but we had a crazy run, and we almost pulled it off. We just ran out of gas at the end. And piggybacking off that point of running out of gas, that was a huge problem for the Celtics last year because from late January till the middle of June, we were just running a 7-man rotation. We were just saying F it and playing our 5 starters like 40 minutes a game, 30, 40 minutes a game, and just only having 2 people come off the bench. This team is just so much deeper. We're not going to run 10-man rotations in the playoffs because when the playoffs come, your rotations get shorter. But like this team is just so deep. Like we have shooting, we have defense. The only kryptonite, and this has been the kryptonite for years with the Celtics, is just our size. Like Robert Williams is super athletic. He's been dealing with a lot of injury problems this year, but he's an undersized center. Al Horford's an undersized big. Like rebounding is always just a circus act of the Celtics. So the teams that beat us, it's either because, they're getting us to turn the ball over or they're just out rebounding us. So, to answer your question, long story short, I think the Celtics have a great chance to put together another deep run. But I think, like, literally, it's going to be the same as last year, where it's just going to come down to the Bucks and Celtics, whoever comes out of the East. And right now, the Bucks have home court advantage. So if it gets to a Game 7 in a playoff series between the Bucks and Celtics, it's going to be tough to beat Milwaukee on the road. But we just did it last year. Giannis and the Bucks got the best of us a few years ago. So it's going to be a heck of a series. Like anytime the Bucks and Celtics play each other, like I think that might be the best rivalry in basketball right now.
You think so?
But I think so. I mean, I might be missing a big one. I mean, the Warriors versus the Cavs was a huge one way back in the day, but I don't even really. That wasn't too much of a rivalry because of the 4 times they played each other in finals. Like the Warriors won 3 times, and they would have won a 4th if Draymond didn't get suspended. So that wasn't too much of a rivalry, but like Tatum versus Giannis is like a great rivalry in the East. I think that honestly, and I was talking about this with a friend too at dinner a couple weeks ago, where it seems like the Celtics or the Bucks are going to win the championship. It's going to be one of those 2 teams because the West is just so much of a crapshoot. Like the Nuggets are the 1 seed, but they're not exactly the most dominant 1 seed of all time.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies are getting hot at the right time, but they're the Grizzlies. Like they're still a younger team. They're a wild card.
What about the Mavs? What do you feel about the Mavs?
Well, the Mavs have to make it in the play-in first. They're at the 11 seed. So
they are?
Yeah, they're not even in the play-in right now. And
Didn't they get
Kyrie? So they got Kyrie. Kyrie and Luka haven't really been gelling much lately. I think they have a sub 500 record since Kyrie joined the team.
Yikes!
And
one of the comments is like the Kyrie effect.
Right. So exactly that, the Kyrie effect. If they were to make the play-in, they have to win 2 games on the road just to make the playoffs as of right now, and then they have to beat the 1 seed. Yeah, they basically have to win every series when not having home court advantage. It's literally going to be impossible in my opinion. Never say never, but the Mavs, I don't give much of a chance. If the Lakers are going to be in the play-in probably, so I won't underestimate LeBron and AD, but they just have no size. It's an older team. Their shooting isn't the best. They made some good additions at the deadline, but it's very hard, as the Nets learned last year, just for a team to put it together come
Yeah.
playoffs. Like, you kind of have to be gelling throughout the regular season at some point to have a chance
Where's
to win it all.
Westbrook at now?
So Westbrook's with the Clippers.
Hmm.
And
What seed are they?
they are the 5 seeds. They'd be playing the Suns first round, and I think that I would pick the Suns. The Suns are expected to get KD back soon.
Mhm.
The thing with that is, like, they're going to be probably the best starting 5 on paper in the NBA, maybe with Chris Paul, Ayton, KD, Devin Booker. That's a pretty dominant starting 5.
Yeah.
But,
Wait,
like,
this is the Clippers?
this is the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, so do I think that the Suns can just put it all together before the playoffs and, like, build chemistry on the fly? That's another tough thing to do. I mean, that's what the Nets tried to do last year, and it failed miserably. But
Yeah.
I would say my favorites for the title this year are the Bucks and Celtics. A dark horse would be the Sixers, in my opinion, because the Sixers are starting to figure things out right before the playoffs. But they haven't gone past the second round. But I feel like they're kind of like the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NBA, where it's like they choked so many years in a row, but, like, at some point they have to break through because of the talent they have.
Yeah.
Like, Sean, your favorite player in Harden's, like, turned into, like, such a dominant playmaker over there.
Yeah.
Embiid's probably the best center in the NBA. It's a shame they haven't made it past the second round yet, but you have to look out for them. But I would say Bucks, Celtics, and then in the West, I'd say Nuggets and probably. I have to say the Warriors. Like, the Warriors are the 6th seed. They've been horrendous on the road all year. So
Mhm.
the Warriors are 30-7 at home and 9-29 on the road.
Jesus.
But I have to respect them because they're the Golden State bleeping Warriors. They've won 4 titles in the last 8 seasons. So they can pull. I mean, right now they'd be facing the Kings in the first round. I'd have to pick the Warriors in 6.
Yeah.
And then if they face the Grizzlies in the second round again, I mean, you could easily pick the Warriors again.
Yeah.
And if the Warriors face the Nuggets in the conference finals, you could pick the Warriors again. So the Warriors might accidentally make the finals again after having such a sucky season.
Damn.
But the West is crazy, where seeds 4 through 11 are separated by only 3 games.
Wow. Has that ever happened before?
It must have happened, but, like, this is just, like, the West has always been the dominant conference, and this year they're, like, so weak. But it's like any team can make it out of the West, and usually the NBA is pretty boring, and, like, it wouldn't surprise me if the Nuggets just made it out. But, like, I would say the Nuggets, Suns, and Warriors are my picks in the West. One of those teams, but, like, it's crazy to think a 6th seed is so threatening in the Warriors, but they're the Golden State Warriors.
Right. That's kind of like the Lightning, honestly, because they weren't doing too good early in the season. I mean, they're the 2nd seed right now, but to start off, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, they weren't like the top team. You know what I mean? Like, the Lightning are no joke in hockey. So it's kind of like the same thing as the Warriors.
Yeah, so I have to give my flowers to the Warriors, as much as it pains me to say that. Like, they're always going to be a threat. They are, since 2015, I told you this during the last podcast, Carter. Since 2015, the Warriors are undefeated and non-NBA Finals playoff rounds.
It's crazy.
So every year that they've been in the playoffs, they've made the finals since Steve Kerr became head coach. So you have to respect that. But I think the Celtics are going to be poised to make another deep playoff run. I think the Eastern Conference Finals this year could be Bucks Celtics. I think it was hilarious last year how the Bucks were so scared of playing the Nets that they rested everyone in the final game of the season, so they dipped out of the 2 seed. And the Celtics played all our starters in the final regular season game. We went for that 2 seed, and the head coach had that epic quote when it's like, "Oh, you're playing the Nets. How do you feel?" And he's like, "Well, we're not a track team. We don't run from anybody. Like, you have to play tough teams in the playoffs." And, like, the Bucks were so scared of playing the Nets, and we swept them. And then, as fate has it, we play the Bucks next round. The series goes to 7, and who has home court advantage? The Celtics. And who wins Game 7 at their home court? The Celtics. Karma has a funny way of working in sports sometimes. So home court advantage in the NBA is ever so valuable. So the Celtics have an outside, I wouldn't say an outside chance, but the Celtics have a chance to get this 1 seed back in these final 7 games. And I know they're going to go for it. it seems like the 1 seed's going to be decided in that final Celtics Bucks game coming up this Thursday. So that's going to be the biggest game of the year. But Celtics Bucks are my favorites to win the championship, and I would say the Nuggets are my 3rd favorite, Warriors 4th favorite, then Suns 5th favorite. So those are my top 5 teams. But this is another perfect segue into my next topic, where June 18th could be an amazing day in Boston. It could be one of the greatest days in the history of Boston.
Really?
You guys know why?
What day?
June 18th.
It's a game 7. I was reading the notes or something.
Game 7?
Oh, you were cheating. You read the notes. Yes, June 18th could be the greatest day in Boston sports history because both the NBA and Stanley Cup Finals Game 7s are scheduled to both happen on that day.
Really?
So if the Celtics and Bruins are both in the NBA Finals, they'll likely have home court advantage, and they would both be hypothetically playing that day. It's probably going to get rescheduled because if they're both playing at the Garden, you can't play both of them on the same day. But just for the moment, let's just say the hypothetics. How incredible would that be?
Just a back-to-back, a doubleheader?
I would faint. I wouldn't be able to make it through the whole day.
Would you buy a ticket?
So I've been looking at Game Time, and they show you you can buy tickets right now for the Cup Finals or the NBA Finals. It's like $2,000, $2,300 for a Cup Finals game, and right around a little over
for like a nosebleed seat
in the balcony.
But I thought about doing it for the finals last year, and if the Celtics or the Bruins make the finals this year, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like this may not. You don't know if this is going to happen again anytime soon.
Yeah.
So it's like I might have to do it.
You got the money now, though.
Yeah, it would be like a whole week's worth. It would be like almost a week to a week and a half worth of salary for me to invest in tickets. But it'd be worth it, even though it's only for 4 hours of enjoyment. It's a finals game in sports.
You'll think about it probably for the next forever.
Right.
The Bruins are doing it. I might.
Yeah, it's like I might have to do it. I hate how late the games are in the finals. Like the Celtics finals games, they're starting at 9. So public transportation, getting out of there would be a problem.
Yeah,
public transport would be
can't
closed
get out of there.
Right. I think MBTA is shut down by the time the games are over. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Exactly.
I like it.
I may have to do that, but Celtics and the Bruins right now could be scheduled if they both make the finals to play on the same day. And the Red Sox play the Yankees that weekend as well at Fenway.
Oh, man. It's a good
greatest weekend in Boston sports history, potentially.
It keeps that cutting out.
I look forward to it.
I hope this all, again, the leagues are going to flex their schedules, but, this would be crazy if this happens. And, this is the closest, really, we've been, I would say, probably in, 5 years to having both the Bruins and Celtics, both win the championships. They both have a legitimate shot.
Mm-hmm.
But, that would be crazy. And I would definitely give a lot of consideration to investing in finals tickets. As much as that would hurt my wallet, might have to do it. All 3 of us should go.
Yeah, I would be down. Even though I don't have money coming in yet, I'd still be like, yeah, what's
the streaming money, though.
Yeah, streaming checks.
What's your favorite movie of all time, Carter, David, and Sean?
Favorite movie of all time?
Toy Story.
Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
The first Toy Story. That's a good one.
Probably Dark Knight or Sleepers.
Sleepers. I don't think I've seen that one.
The movie goes crazy. It's with
like
Robert
Dark
De
Knight,
Niro.
though.
Yeah, Robert De Niro, Kevin Bacon. It's one more guy. I forget. Brad Pitt. Very
Brad
good.
Pitt. Over the Hedge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong. Yeah, I was just reading comments. That's why I said it.
No, hey, you're engaging with the audience. They like that. And I like that too. Streaming chess. This is a shout out to Isaiah. Thanks for tuning in to the stream.
This is a chess tournament right now.
Facts.
I've never played chess before. I should definitely try it. I'm more of a checkers guy, but I'll have to give it a shot. All right. We're winding down the podcast, but before we do, I want to do what we did last time, Carter, where I looked up 3 deep sentimental questions for us all to answer.
Oh,
boy.
man.
Spicy.
I feel like I'm like Joe Rogan. It's just like, we're just chilling and like, just getting all sentimental. First question.
Oh.
If you weren't in your current profession, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't doing my current profession, what would I be doing?
Yeah, so like, right, yeah. Self-explanatory. I don't know what I was about to say.
I originally wanted to like code, do like what Patrick's doing. Want to be, a little coding fella, but I didn't like it. So, but I mean, I don't know what else. I've never really thought about it. What about you, Sean? Throw this to you.
I mean, I'm working at a bank now, and I'm hoping to get like a banking job somewhere else.
Working in
in
a
the near
bank, making
future.
that bank.
That's right. You know the deal, Davy Jones. But I don't know. I'd like to work in like the NHL. Like if I wasn't like doing this, like hopefully one day I can. But if I never got the job at the bank, I'd probably still be repping MB Market Basket. But probably not at this age. I don't think I could last that long.
Yeah.
But I think the bank is kind of like where like I actually like found like a place that like I enjoy working. So it's hard to say where else I would be working. I feel like I would have ended up at a bank anyways, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, it'd probably just be something in sports media. I think that's pretty easy to predict. I'm a huge sports fan. Mac Jones shirt. I'm always usually wearing sports shirts.
Big Mac Jones.
Oh yeah, huge Mac Jones supporter. He's going to come back this year. He's going to prove all the haters wrong. It's going to be the return of the Mac.
That's right.
See what I did there?
Sophomore slump. It's okay.
Wow.
Return of the Mac. Don't copyright me. Anyways, basically, yeah, anything in sports media, just like making podcasts for like the Red Sox or like covering the Red Sox or the Celtics or the Patriots or the Bruins, just something in sports. That's always been my passion. And I've said this a million times, but yeah, just if I wasn't doing what I'd be doing right now at the company that I work for and the job that I have, very secretive, but
Very secretive.
yeah, I'd be doing something in sports. Second question. What fears do you experience?
What fears? Oh, I feel like I've always been afraid of dying. I feel like that's a common one, though. Everybody's kind of afraid of dying, so you can't really let that be something you're scared of. But
True.
oh man, I already know like what Sean's gonna say. Like I have like Sean's answer in my head.
Oh
But
God. Hopefully I'm not predictable.
I'd say I don't know. Definitely car accidents lately. I've been thinking like, oh man, like just thinking about car accidents. Like what happens if? Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to put those ideas out there. Or put those
That's scary.
put those
No,
words out there. But
Facts.
definitely for some reason, like car crashes have been just scaring the shit out of me lately. I think it
Well,
was
and
because like I was
sorry.
driving in the snow. I think that's why. I was like driving through a storm and all the cars in front of me, like the snow wasn't fully plowed off the roads. So a lot of the cars in front of me, like that didn't have like all-wheel drive. Like I just watched them just right to the other side of the road and just like out of control. And that just freaked me out. He does.
Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor
He got him.
deny.
You being caught.
I agree with that. I mean, like, there's so many cars on the road, and like,
Yeah,
like, getting to
dude.
your point, like driving in the snow, like it's such like a like an instinct when you're driving in the snow to like brake,
Mhm.
and like when you brake, you just start slipping, slide, and then you get more anxious, and it's like, oh god, I'm gonna fender bender the car in front of me. It's scary. It's really
Exactly.
scary.
You get what I mean. You get what I mean.
But thankfully, I knock on wood. It looks like we're done with the winter for the year, or at least for the season, which is good.
I hope so.
Hope no more snow is coming.
All right,
How-
Sean. Let's
How
hear
about you,
your
Sean?
list of phobias.
I want to hear Biz Nasty's what does he think my fear is?
Well, I
What
know
is it?
number one on the list is elevators.
Oh yeah, like fear. All right, if we're talking that, yeah.
I
But like
think
on like
elevators and
on
then
like a real
bridges.
bridges. Oh yeah, that was
I
so
could say
cool.
airplanes, maybe.
Yeah, they're all right. Like I'm like decent with them. I don't know. Just
3
the
for
whole
3.
process is like kind of nutty. But I
How about
mean,
that
to
though?
like,
I'm 3 for 3.
Kind of nutty.
I don't know, like on like a larger scale. I mean, I don't know. since I've been going through it, like with like the sickness and stuff, the last few months, like I don't know, like, it's just like a lot of like negative like crap. So it's just like I don't know, like I just any fear like pertaining to like for me is just like I hope just like anything worse than like this, like a real like disease or something like that, like catching something bad's like what I really fear now. But I mean,
Mm.
that's not like a constant thought. But I mean, you know, like I wouldn't want to die. I definitely wouldn't want to die. You know what I mean? Like that's not a
No
good
sir,
one.
no
So like
sir,
I
not
fear
on my
that.
watch.
But I mean, you know, just like I've definitely enjoyed my time and stuff like that. Like I've lived and stuff. Like I've seen things. So like I don't know. I wouldn't want to die, but I mean, you know, stuff happens. Like stuff happens. I don't know. I'm not trying to get like weird, but I mean, I don't know. Like easy ones, like elevators. Yeah, I hate elevators. Like I'm claustrophobic, shit like that. But I mean,
What about
that's
bridges?
really.
That one always kind of confused me because I'm like, you
I
kind of
feel like
have to go over bridges.
I don't even know when I said that. I feel like that was just like a thing like a couple of years ago, but that was just like all like low key like a meme. Like it was just like, oh, like I should like be afraid, but like I'm like there's nothing to be afraid.
Okay,
I would
so
say yeah, elevators are a given. You're
okay,
stuck
okay.
and then you can't get out for like hours, dude. Like no
Yeah,
thanks. Like what if I gotta pee? You know what I mean? It's terrible.
yeah, yeah. I've been locked into a few elevators in my life.
Yeah. No, thank you. Oh man, it's my biggest fear. Seriously.
His job is top secret. Thank you very much.
It's just top secret, like I just company policy. I can't talk about it on the internet.
Confidential.
But
Confidentiality.
if I ever were to say my job, you would probably laugh so hard as to why I kept it confidential. But I can't say it, and it's also a safety thing. It's also a privacy thing. So it's none of your business. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Gaming Cat.
David Jones.
Partially kidding. Um, for me, fears. Fear of flying. I've had that for over a decade now. I just like it's similar to what you just said, Sean. Or like the whole process, like going to the airport, like going through security
Yeah.
and stuff like that, just all stresses me out. Like if I had a flight in November, I'd be stressing out about it probably every
Flight in
so
May.
often. And from now until then, yeah.
Yeah, Biz Nasty's got a flight in May.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
where are you going?
I'm going out to Utah.
There we go. Utah Jazz.
I'm an
Yeah.
honorary cousin.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah, me and
nice.
Pat.
I didn't know you guys were so close. You told me you guys have gone closer. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was hoping
you
Sean
and
and
that-
I would be coming with me.
Sadly won't be attending. Had to make that call today.
What
Yeah, it's
what
just-
week in May are you going
The
after we graduate?
18th, I think is when we leave.
There we go.
Oh yeah, it's
That-
open
that's-
invite, Davy Jones. You know you're welcome to come.
I appreciate it.
David Jones, yeah, you should.
I
You know,
think.
Fear of flights. You got me and Pat to hold your hand.
How long are you
Alright.
going for?
4 days, 5 days, something like
Yeah,
that.
unfortunately that it overlaps a little bit with my vacation, but then it overlaps with the time that I need to get back to work. Sadly, But
Yeah.
I appreciate the invite.
Oh,
I think Brian and Bob bought tickets today, honestly.
Oh yeah. I think Pat mentioned that. I think we all have like the same row.
No kidding.
Oh, you guys are going the same flight?
I think so. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah,
Make
I
sure
wish
to
I
vlog it.
could. I wish I could, but
I could do a vlog.
it's just not in the finances right now because I had to
Not
drop
in the
money for
cards.
a cruise a couple weeks ago, and then last week, so tough. Girlfriend stepped on my glasses.
Oh,
So tough. So I had to buy new glasses
That-
and
that
contacts.
hits. That may not hit close to home for people in this audience, but that hits close to home for all three of
It
us.
does.
Dude, the lens
What about
popped
that?
out, and then like the little like lining part right here that keeps it like together. Ripped.
Crumbled.
Dunzo.
Oh
Dunzo. Such a rip. Pain.
man, that's awful.
But you can't be mad. Accidents happen. You know what I mean. But you can add that to the list. What Sean O'Neill has had to endure these last few months. My new glasses don't come until like April 6th at the earliest.
He's got the
So it's
backup
like-
set right now.
Yeah, bro, and it's crooked as crap, bro. Look at this. As you can see, it's very crooked.
Dang.
Yeah, I sat on these ones last year. I hate to say it, close to myself, but sat on them right on this seat.
Hey, well, they're in
Yeah.
Utah. We can do something fun that week, Sean.
Yeah.
exactly.
You guys can get the 99.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta say, the 99 has not since I got sick. The 99s has just not been hitting for me. Like shocker.
Your
Like
taste buds must have changed.
yeah. Once I don't know, when I got COVID, I think I had it like the day before.
Podcast changed you, dang.
Yeah, and it just hasn't been hitting really. It's just I don't know. Like they don't make baked potatoes no more either, and it's just like I was ripping the gold fever tenders. Those are fire.
Oh, the gold fever. Oh, jeez.
I don't know. They're just not. They're not hitting anymore. Like I don't know what happened, but
that's crazy. That was your spot. Like that's like
yeah,
when I think of the 99, I think of Sean.
They just switched to frozen tenders recently. Like everything's now frozen, which the food quality has gone down a bit since they switched to frozen. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I wanted to go to the 99s today, but my dad had a coupon to go to Applebee's, so we went to Applebee's instead.
nice.
All right, not as good, but we'll take Applebee's.
Hey, something Applebee's is maybe the worst restaurant ever of all time, but they always have the deals. So
They
do. Know, that's the only reason we're going is if we get a coupon.
I've never been to Applebee's, and I can't say I ever see it in my future plans. To be honest,
yeah, I think they have like
besides like a coupon, it's like have you ever heard someone be like, all right, let's go to Applebee's? Like,
yeah,
exactly. The week that they're in Utah, we're gonna go to Applebee's.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Jealous. I'm jealous.
And we'll FaceTime them in there. They're living it up in Utah, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we're at Applebee's. Yeah, gang,
gang.
Dude,
that would be cool to go to Utah, but sadly I cannot make it. But I know the boys will be having fun, and I'm glad Brian's going too.
No, same. Yeah, I was hyped to hear that.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna have a fun time out there.
Definitely. I don't really know exactly like how many things they got going on out there, but I want to see the great Salt Lake. Hopefully. Yeah, no, I want to go for hikes mostly. Like I heard you just like you walk around and like you know how we just see like houses and stuff and just trees. Like it's just mountains all in the distance.
Yeah,
just so cool.
I'd love to, Pete.
That'd be such nice views. But dude, at the end of the summer, I got a lot of time off from work before school starts. If y'all want to plan something too, at the end of August.
End of August, okay. Yeah, I'm looking for me. Little game plan. Like if I can land a job, I'm trying to land a job like second week of July. But I'm trying to I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to quit like what I'm doing. Take like a month off in June and just like screw off for like the last time I can. And like once I start like a big boy job, like then I'm just gonna sweat. Like I'm not gonna slack or anything. I'm gonna be locked in, grinding and stuff like that. But it's looking like June. I'm gonna take like the whole month off, like hopefully, and just try to have some fun, make a cabin trip, hang out with cousins and stuff like that.
Hey, get me up to the Yabin.
Yeah, now we should for real.
Gotta go kayaking.
Yakking, kid.
Yeah, no, for sure. That would be fun. The boys always like in general. I'll say the boys is a general term. Like they always make these plans, and then like they always unfortunately fall through. But we should definitely commit to all doing something this summer.
100%.
Yeah, sometime in June will work for me. I can definitely plan for August though, since it's so far out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, just getting back to the question. So, airplanes. I have a fear of planes, and just fear of being out in like public and like big crowds and stuff. Like I want to experience like the bar scene and stuff, and like maybe go to clubs and stuff. But I just get nervous and like big crowds and stuff.
A little night on the town.
We gotta get Davy Jones in the club for real.
I think this would be fun, but like I get so anxious and nervous, and something I got to work through, and hopefully I can work through this next chapter of life that I keep talking about that's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else we want to bring up this podcast?
Wait, did you have another question? I thought you had
two questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have a third question. What do you really care about?
Oh, It's a good one. I definitely say my family. I'm sure you guys probably would agree. I mean, I would assume you guys care about your families, but definitely my well-being. Like Sean was saying, like when he said he got sick, he started really concentrating and thinking about that. I've definitely had that same experience. Like during quarantine, I was like, oh, I really gotta like keep up with my health. Like this is like detrimental. Like things can just go wrong and just deteriorate so quickly. Like it's good to just keep your health maintained. Make sure. I mean, like I don't eat good at all. Like I have the worst diet in the world, but I go to the gym a lot, so I feel like I kind of counteract it a little bit. So I guess
Yeah,
trying to just your well-being, making sure that you're doing the best thing you can and whatever's best for your body, you know?
facts. Yeah,
I would say, yeah, just I care about my friends and family, of course, and like everyone who's gotten me this far and supported me. I mean, I think during the pandemic, I had a realization too, where I just want to have more fun with stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I've just been grinding a lot, which is great, but like, it's just nice to sometimes step back and just like smile and have fun. So, like, even when I'm working, I just try and make sure to like smile, like just be grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And a lot of things I've done since like post like just the pandemic has just been like, if I'm gonna do something, like I want to make sure it's fun. Like,
Mhm.
is there an aspect of this that could be fun?
Yeah.
So every day I just like to say like, oh, like just to think like, oh dang, I had a fun day today. So I care about friends, family, peers, and all that, and like making sure I'm doing good at my job and like just holding my weight and like making progress. And also I just care about just having fun and living life to the fullest.
Definitely.
facts. Yeah, for me, um, friends, family, the lady, all that. That's really important to me. Like obviously, like the health of myself. I think I've made that like pretty clear this podcast. That's been like really important to me. And the well-being of like others. Just trying to have like a good path and do like the right things is what's important to me, and just making sure like I stay on track and try not to like let anything like get my way or like bring me down. So just looking forward to like the future and like having fun, enjoying my time, but
Mhm.
um, above all, just being healthy and you know being able to enjoy these things as they happen and staying in the moment too, like living in the moment. Because like you guys would be talking about like the seasons that like the Bruins had and like the Celtics had last year, and it's just like dang, like I just like thinking about like how much fun I was having like watching those
Mhm.
games with my friends and stuff like that, and it's just like I can't wait for like this year
Yeah.
and watching it with everybody and experiencing like the highs and lows of everything. So trying to live in the moment and just like keep it up with like the health and making sure like I'm healthy and stuff like that. That's what I care about most.
Yeah, I think those are all great answers. That's all the material I had for this podcast. Unless you guys wanted to bring anything else up,
Drop a like.
please
Ooh,
drop a like, subscribe. Dave
we
want
should get active in this chat here.
Get active.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. They
let's
asked
drop
a
a like
couple.
now. Let's get Davy Jones. Davy Jones is what? One sub away from 80 subs? Can we
am
get
I?
Davy Jones to 80 subs? Are you kidding me?
Please do.
Come on
80
now.
for Brady.
80 for Brady.
That was a great movie. You're a
Oh,
genius.
how did? All right, I'm reading comments. This is from 2 hours ago, basically. Um, how did David and Carter meet up?
Oh,
Do you want to explain this?
like that pizza place? That was the
No,
first
no, no,
time.
no.
Is that
But
really it?
it was, but before the before
Oh,
that same hangout, that same play date. But like, how was the very first time we met? Like, do you
was
remember?
was that not the first time?
It was. I'm just saying,
Or
like
like are you saying earlier in the day?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You let me try to remember back. I can't remember if I went to your dorm or if you came to my dorm. You gotta remind me. You gotta remind me, Davey.
Yes. So I was at the gym. Work walking the track. Yes, I walked the track. Roast me, whatever. People roast me for working out. Whatever. Sue me. Um, I was walking the track at school, and the person at the bottom of the screen was helping my cousins move in, who also go to school with me and Carter. And yes, it's called a play date.
It's a play
Um,
date.
Certainly.
and so Sean was with their cousins, and after they had moved into their dorms, they were just walking around on campus checking things out. So they were all outside the gym. I got a text from one of our cousins saying, like, "Oh, we're gonna be right all over in your area. Like, we should all meet up." And Carter happened to tag along with Sean, our other cousins. Almost name dropped them. Sorry. Not that they would care. I don't think.
Pager?
But anyways, Sean was hanging out with our cousins, and Carter was rooming with one of my cousins, and they were all just hanging out in a group along with Pat, my biggest fan. And they were hanging outside the gym. Got a text from one of my cousins that they're going to be in the area, so I stopped my workout, met with them outside of one of the dorm halls, and it was cool because it's just kind of like this epic moment. We're all like second day freshmen, and we're all like, "This is so cool! Like we're seeing each other in person. Like we're all college kids." And then it was a very simple interaction. Like it wasn't like an epic introduction where like two worlds are colliding, but there's like, "Oh, this
The
is our
tap
friend."
up was insane.
I think it was a handshake.
It was a handshake.
A
It
formal
was. I
handshake.
remember the handshake.
Yeah, it was just like I said like, "Oh, it's good to see you guys moved in. These next 4 years are going to be fun." And then you're like, "Oh yeah, this is our friend from growing up, Carter." And then we just shook hands and it's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then
Honorary
we just,
cousin.
yeah, honorary cousin.
Yeah,
Exactly.
now I'm an honorary cousin.
He looks like us.
Yeah, we kind of are the triplets.
Right. Exactly.
Triplets.
And it was just a simple interaction. And, we had some small talk that night. And then throughout all first semester at college, we just started hanging out more because I was hanging out with my cousins.
Yeah.
I knew them. So from the start, I was hanging out with them. And they knew Carter because they've been friends since they were pre-K or something like that.
Pre-K.
Out of the womb. Literally, as soon as they got out of the womb, they were all friends.
I jumped out the womb and dapped Brian up.
Yeah.
So yeah, just we hung out a lot during first semester, and then developed a friendship, and then COVID happened, and we stayed in touch virtually, and then we started having classes on Zoom together sophomore year,
Yeah.
and then by the time we got back on campus junior year, it's like we had been friends for 5 years. So
we were already doing pods at that point.
Exactly. So we've been friends for almost exactly 4 years now, on and off. But yeah, it feels like we've been friends for a lot longer, and that's thanks to Sean and our cousins, all of our cousins,
The squad, the whole gang.
introducing us to each other. So that's how we met. Long story short, we met at college on like one of the first nights, and just started hanging out and chalking it up.
Davy Jones, I'm reading another comment. I don't know if you want to tell this one, but you used to have a different YouTube name other than In Depth with David.
Yes. So my YouTube channel name used to be Sponge411. That was the name I held for the longest time. I think I changed it to In Depth with David either a year or two ago. Sponge411. The sponge is because I wanted a nickname when I was younger, because all the kids in my classes when I was in elementary school all had nicknames, and I'm like, I need to come up with a nickname for myself. So I came up with the nickname Sponge because I absorb knowledge. So I call myself
epic.
Sponge.
Sheesh.
And the 411 is for my birthday. April 11th is my birthday. So it's coming up. And speaking of birthdays, I can't believe I went this long without saying it, but happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday, Sean.
Thank you.
Nice and happy birthday on the day, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, sir, Ski.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope
Yes.
you had a lot of fun. Good.
Yeah, it was good. Yes, sir. Very
So,
fun. Oh yeah, my lady got me Bruins tickets for Tuesday.
W girlfriend.
W
Yes,
girlfriend.
sir. Yes,
W
sir.
girlfriend in the chat.
I love it. Let's go. Yeah.
W girlfriend in the chat.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, playing the Predators. That'd be good.
They're playing the Nashville Predators. Yeehaw! That should be fun on Tuesday.
Sir.
Yeah, no, that's a great birthday present. Happy birthday though, and yeah, so
Thank you.
that's the 411. My birthday's coming up April 11th. That's Tuesday. Have I accidentally ever said where I worked? No, not this job. No, but I may slip up at some point. It's not a big deal. It's a privacy thing, and like I don't want to get in any trouble.
What's
So
the
it is
most
a big deal.
confusing game you've ever played?
The most confusing game?
Yeah.
Confusing.
Pac-Man.
Yeah, probably Pac-Man. Can't get that one down.
Yeah, I can't even like name one to be honest. What's the scariest game you've ever played? This Nasty's got a couple.
The scariest.
Outlast is pretty scary. I didn't play. I remember I watched Brian playing like 5 years ago when I was scared.
That one's
It was
spooky.
fun though.
Among
Or
Us was
Dying Light.
Among Us.
Among Us.
I think this one that me and Pat played, me and Pat were sitting right here. It was called like Escape the Ayuwaki, and basically, basically it was like sound controlled. So like if you had your mic on, like the enemy that was like coming after you could like censor your voice, like hear your voice, like censor your voice, and like run towards where your voice was coming from. So like me and Pat had to like whisper to each other like while we were playing, and dude, it was so scary. It was so scary.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, that's probably the scariest one. Outlast is pretty scary too, though.
Yeah, no, that's fun because something's like chasing you the whole time, but it tells a good story too.
Yeah, it's got a cool story.
Mm. What about you, David? You play any scary games?
Scariest game? I mean, I've seen clips of like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
Freddy's. That's probably the scariest thing I've seen. I've never.
I think they're making a movie for that.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
That game's actually it's pretty fun, to be honest. That game's kind of fun.
I've had scary moments in a lot of games, like Fortnite. It's not like scary, but like I'll just be like in the zone, and then like,
and they get the drop on you.
That, or like I'll turn around and I'll just see someone like an enemy right next to me, and I'll just like jump in my seat. That's not scary.
Carter's behind him, ready to knock him for 200.
Right.
One pump to the dome.
Yeah, they don't want to mess with me in Fortnite.
Fortnite's been mad fun lately. I'm not gonna lie.
Fortnite's been making moves. They've been making a lot of moves.
But my friends play no build, and I don't really like playing that. But
you don't like no build?
I mean, the game like blew up like from building. You know what I mean? That's what like made the game different. Is that not only was it like top 100 like battle royale crap like that, but you could build, and that's like what separated it from a lot of other games. So like I feel like
true.
I don't know. That's just like kind of like what I picture the game, but it is fun. Like I'm not gonna say it's not fun. Like playing,
it's easier. Build. I feel like with no build, it's a lot easier.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, no doubt about that.
But, I just signed up though. They just reopened the sign up sheet for this. I can get a creator code now. Code Carter Biss in the item shop.
Oh yeah.
Just code Carter Biss for 10% off.
Yeah, aren't they making the old maps and stuff like that?
Yeah, they did a what's it called? They have like a new creative mode where like people can bring in like old textures, old maps, like all the old stuff, and they can like make their own custom maps pretty much. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, they should do that. They should seriously for like a season just go back to like OG maps. Like why not? I'm not really fucking with like the new my bad. I'm not really messing with like, the new maps here. I'm really not.
Oh, I like this new one.
I mean, it's cool, yeah, but like oh man, nothing better than like season 5, like Fortnite.
Yeah.
Those were,
season
like,
4 map best.
We went this whole podcast without you swearing. You're not welcome back now.
I know, yeah. I know it was gonna slip.
No worries. Freedom of speech here on this podcast. What made you change your name to In Depth with David? No specific reason. It's just I like that was the name of the podcast that I jump started on Apple. Then I got annoyed with doing podcasts on Apple because there's just so many restrictions to get it on Apple, and it takes like 5 days to upload. So I just brought this podcast over to YouTube, and In Depth with David. It's just an alliteration. I love it, alliterations. Like my radio show at school was named Dapping Up with David.
I love that one.
Yeah, so I just have an affinity for alliteration, so that's the first one that came to mind, and here we are. Alrighty, well, guess that's it for the podcast. There's no more questions here at the moment. So, what did I think of Carter when I first met him? I thought he was a cool dude. I just thought he had the same personality as like my cousins, and like I gel with my cousins, and
nice.
I knew we would get along, and I think like a great thing about your personality, and this word might sound a little weird that I'm about to say, but like you're like a shapeshifter, and I might have told you this before, where like you can get along with like the jocks, but you can also get along with the nerds. you know when to like switch it on to be goofy or like when to be serious. Like I think that that's like a
That's
great
what I've
trait
said
to
as
have.
well.
Actually,
Like
yeah,
this
Sean said
man,
that
this
same
man
thing.
could like post up with like a homeless person, like be chill. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
crazy.
you have
Appreciate it.
yeah, you have great social skills.
Thank you, thank
It's a
you.
transferable skill in any aspect of life. Um, did Carter become a YouTuber?
Oh, 2015. It's
Grinding.
been a long time. It's been a long
It's been
time.
a journey.
Absolute journey. There's been a couple channels. All of them have been named Carter, though. Every single one. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long do I think of doing YouTube? As long as I'm having fun.
Facts.
This is something where it's like I can just pick it up at any time. Like there's no real timeline. I can go into hiatus for months and years at a time, like I've done, or I can just do this like once a week, or even be more consistent with this. YouTube is a very flexible platform,
Mhm.
and it's like a hobby for me. I guess this could be considered a hobby for me now at this point in my life, where this isn't my source of income, but if it takes off, that'd be amazing. But this is just something I do for fun. I don't do it for the money.
Mhm.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Alright.
We'll wrap it up there, I guess. Fine.
Bro,
We'll
his
answer.
rapid fire question right now.
Well, last question. This is the last question we're answering. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. If you weren't doing YouTube, what do you think you would be doing right now? Well, I'd be doing what I'm doing right now, which is at a job at a company that I can't say, doing something that I can't also say. So there's my answer.
Trapping.
Yeah, I'd be
Yes.
trapping.
Trap Money Benny.
Yeah, I'd be Trap Money Benny for the night.
That'd be hanging out with Drake and Kiki.
Adonis.
21, can you do something for me?
Shout out Gaming Cat.
Yeah, shout out Gaming Cat for real, bro. Yesterday we were doing a live stream, and there's this game called. I mean, I guess you guys probably know what like Dance Dance Revolution is, like with that when you used to step on the arrows.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Arcade special.
Yeah, it's an arcade special. So they got one called Friday Night Funkin', and you use the arrow keys on your keyboard. And I just told Gaming Cat to 1v1 people in my chat. Dude, he smoked everybody. I've never
Yes,
seen a better
sir.
player at this game. I was like, what even is this game? And he beat like 6 people in a row.
Whaming Watts.
Waving Wats, exactly.
It's all W's.
W Riz.
He's got W Riz.
W Riz. He's the Wizard of Oz. He plays for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. All right. On that note, we're gonna end this. The Cheez-Its are falling on the screen. That is gonna do it for us here on In Depth with David. Another podcast in the books. Again, trying to do this more semi-consistently. This is another podcast, the second one in 12 days. So we're going to try and do this consistently. We're all going to try and get together and do at least an episode a week because we all enjoy doing this. And it's good chatting it up with you two. Make sure you hit the like button, absorb that subscribe button.
Absorb it, chat.
And get me to 80 subscribers. Why not? Get me to 100 subscribers. Get me to 100,000. Get me to 100 million. Don't stop there.
100,000.
I got hundreds of questions.
Well, good thing there's hundreds of podcasts to come.
And we can answer those on the next 100. I appreciate all the engagement, though, guys. Hi, Evan.
Evan.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for all the engagement in these podcasts. I know a lot of you are migrating from Carter's channel. I still appreciate the support. Make sure to subscribe to Carter Bisk, getting to 3K subscribers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for us. Thank you, Carter. Thank you, Sean, for joining. And we're all alphas, yes. And,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time, hopefully soon. But for now, hope you all have a great night. Take care.
Peace out, y'all.
See ya.